Hi, Zizaran here, and this is going to be continuation of the Spellslinger Everything Explained. So this means we're going to finish wrapping up Act 9 and 10, and we're going to do Kitava and the start of maps. A lot of people don't always know what to do or how they should approach the start of mapping, so we are going to continue doing that now. Fuck YouTube, wow, that's mean. Wait, is my video demonetized since I swore in the first minute? Anyway, we're screwed anyway. So that's what we're going to do now. So this is a Spellslinger build, and if you've never watched any of my Everything Explained before, they're very, very long videos, somewhere from 3 to 6 hours. This one will basically last until the patch notes come out. So, patch notes waiting room. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, I try to explain most things, or as much as I can, while I'm leveling. To be fair, I probably should grind at least a few levels in Blood Aqueduct. Depends a little bit on the league as well. Sometimes Blood Aqueduct is good. As for deciding when I stay in Blood Aqueduct or not, that depends a little bit on how many humilities I drop. If I, for example, say it's a good league and Blood Aqueduct is a good thing to grind. In Delirium, Harbor Bridge was really, really good to grind. But let's say that Harbor Bridge is awesome in Harvest and we want to grind there. Then I'm at least going to, especially on Hardcore, grind till around level 63 or level 65. Now, by the time I get there, if I have 5, 6, or even 7 humilities, then I'm well, okay, now I'm definitely grinding one out, right? And some builds will rely and get a lot more power from a Tabula than other builds. Tabulas are very common to drop while just mapping as well. So, for example, on a Spellslinger build, like the one I'm playing right now, and this is potentially, depending on patch notes tonight, going to be a very, very strong build in the upcoming league, then this does not need a tabula at all. You can run straight to maps. The reason for that is that you can just chuck more spells in, and they don't need to, you don't really need a bunch of support gems on one skill. So, if you're doing Volatile Dead Spellslinger, you could do, for example, Volatile Dead, Detonate Dead, and Cremation, or you could throw in another fire spell like Fireball or something. It depends a little bit. One downside with the Detonate Dead and Volatile Dead thing is that they are sharing corpses. So on bosses with Desecrate will not always be spawning enough. So that's annoying. But you do have a lot of choice with Spellslinger. I'll see what Steel says first, Vero, or whatever you think you say. I mean, yeah, that would actually be nice. But I mean, yeah, it's up to you. I don't really mind. Either is fine. Could be neat. Yeah, so lastly, in Delirium, this was the cause, or part of the causes of me having the worst league start ever. Because I had between 5 to 18 FPS for the first week and a half. And it was terrible. I even changed to a dual PC setup. I tried 3 different PCs to see if any of them could actually play the game at all. And it was just really, really bad performance. And it didn't affect everybody, but quite a lot of people were hit by it on Delirium. And Volatile Dead Spellslinger was extra bad for it. I've been trying it quite a lot right now, and I have very, very stable 80 to 110 FPS. Now with Ball Lightning, I have 120. I think it's capped at that as well, so I could probably get more. But yeah, it's a great build. I hope it'll be viable. GGD have basically straight up said that there are changes to Spellslinger. Will be interesting to see what those are. There's some weird stuff with Vulcan and alt tabbing. Really, really weird. Harvest looks like it doesn't really matter what area you farm. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm excited. That's a really good fist one. This would actually be a really, really good Spellslinger one as well. Particularly for, Ethereal Knives, Bladefall, or anything. Oh, and Glacial Cascade. If you're using Glacial Cascade, this would be a great one. Well, I mean, it's kind of low rolls at this point. But still, pretty great. Harvest going to be so fun for SSF. I think so too. So, right now, we went and got the quest there, but we are actually... Let's see. Instead of getting the quest... The blue thing in my inventory, we'll just go straight to Blood Aqueduct and farm up to level 64 or 65. Isn't the Vulcan screen pause and shit going to be really annoying when you have to alt tab while streaming? Well, I mean, it just looks like this. It just it'll flicker for you guys when I alt tab. That's the only thing. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying. That's I'm very happy with that as the only trade-off for getting stable 110 FPS. There's no way I'm not running that for that small inconvenience. 100%. Let's see. And if you like missed the start of this, do remember that we have like a early playthrough where we do like the start of this character too. So this character I've played pretty slowly because we are doing everything explained. So because I'm trying to explain everything and take more time, then it's like 5 hours 24 minutes to get here. But with practice and stuff, this exact build is very, very easily something you can do like at 3 to 4 hours to maps with some practice. Now, obviously, there's no reason to rush, and make sure you're just playing the game at an enjoyable pace for you, but a lot of people do enjoy going fast. You have to stop farming Blood Aqueduct at a certain level. I mean, once you're like level 72 particularly, you'll start feeling that XP is getting particularly slow. But a couple of times I've farmed here all the way till 75 because I've been unlucky with the tabula. But felt like I would rather be like a little bit slow to getting maps and have a tabula for increased, you know, like survival. And some people are now going to be like, what do you mean survival? There's no defense on the tabula. And while, yeah, that's true, but having a shit ton of damage is a big defense boost. Chain of Unraveling is insanely hard to beat for damage early on first and strain. Let's see, I'm trying to think. I will probably just continue going down. We just want more like tank. As we see, we already have enough damage. Oh, nice though. Just spam ball side areas. Yeah, that's another alternative. That's definitely something I do a lot. Kind of hate using smoke mine. Such a pain, but it's so much faster. I probably just have bad hotkeys for it. I have it on space and then D to detonate. Could I explain Barrage versus GMP for Spellslinger? So, like actually I only have GMP. I don't think I have enough Dex for Barrage. I can't remember. But right now there's, oh no, I didn't have an alchemy to buy Barrage. So, for Volatile Dead and Desecrate, it's really, really good to use Barrage support. The reason for that is in one salvo, you'll be desecrating and spawning the Volatile Dead balls. Whereas if you're using LMP or GMP, you're only spawning one at a time. However, with this, like, I'm just cursing more monsters. There's no massive benefit to me using LMP. Like, I could take it out right now and it wouldn't really matter. Wouldn't really matter. And you can take it out for, like, less mana cost too. It's just cursing a bit more. Can you bind detonate to left click? Yeah, but I don't think you'd ever want that. Spellslinger reserve count for Commander of Darkness. Haven't checked. Excellent question. Haven't checked. The reason we have Commander of Darkness at the moment, it's a little bit laggy at the moment. Like something's wrong with my internet connection. The reason we have Commander of Darkness, and part of the reason why I love leveling with Arc, Ball, Lightning, and stuff like that, is oh, and actually I should buy Volatile Dead and Detonate Dead, so I actually have leveled them up as well. That's a good idea, because we will be switching to that so we can show off both. But yeah, part of the reason why leveling with Ball, Lightning, Arc, and Wave of Conviction is so nice is because it lets us take Commander of Darkness as our first ascendancy. And that means you're like super early and super easily resist capped while also getting a decent amount of damage. You're getting 30% damage here and then 15% here. So 40%, 45% damage. Whereas taking Plaguebringer, which we're going to use later when we use Desecrate and Detonate Dead. Sorry, Volatile Dead and Detonate Dead. Obviously, like, doesn't really matter until we have like both of these nodes, and it's not something I usually swip to super early. Detonate Dead, Volatile Dead, and then we're gonna do, let's see, we'll just buy those. Actually, I should actually chrome that or get a different one. Let me get, that's fine, and then just there, and then throw a jeweler on here. Damn. I want like one green. Okay, that was terrible. Okay, I just want to find... Is there anything red I would want to level up? No, not really. Will you try the winter brand? What, as a league starter? No, not at all. 100% not. I don't do anything risky as my league starter if I'm ever racing. I usually do that if I'm like, if I don't give a shit about stuff. But if I'm racing, then I have to go for things that I'm like, hey, this is a good bet. Is it worth doing the quest if that give you only regret points? If you need them, yeah. Holy fuck, Vulcan looks good. I think it makes much of a difference in looks, but it's mostly like the smoothness and FPS. There, that's fine. Right, so, and this is another thing very, very worth mentioning as well. You should ideally, at least by the time you get to Blood Aqueduct, always be leveling 6 gems in your offhand, no matter what build you're playing. Either as gems for a future build, or for things to sell. Early on, volleying gems to level 21 is very, very expensive. So say for example, I leveled up 4 Essence Drain gems, right? Volleying that to the level 21 can easily be 2 to 3x early on in the league. Don't know what they are on softcore, but definitely worth it there too. And yeah, having future like level 20 gems, especially spell gems for other builds that you're going to play is very, very big. So now for example, actually wouldn't be bad for me in and what I will probably do on League Start if this is what I play. I would be then doing like 4 or 5 volatile deads and 1 or 2 detonate deads. Right now, let's just say we do like arcs instead. It doesn't really matter, obviously, because we are not playing that character enough that it's going to matter. But that's like an idea. Because they get full XP and don't, so there's no downside. It's just 100% you should always be leveling gems in your offhand. I'm playing SSF Hardcore and probably SSF Hardcore for the entire league. So now that we are level 60, we're also going to go to, not this, we're going to go here to the Menagerie. Can we make a POB guide to this leveling? Yeah, it's on YouTube. I have a Spellslinger guide already. Let's see. So here we have an instant recovery one, and this is like a huge tip. Make sure that you remember that if you only have a prefix, you can add a suffix. You can't add like adrenaline to Quicksilvers, and you can't add alchemist in any way, but for like life flasks or like silvers and stuff, this is really big. So I actually don't have bleed immunity, so I am actually going to do that. Quite a lot of the time I like having freeze immunity on my life flask, but Veritania and Delirium makes that a lot worse. There, you're gonna do that there, and then here we have a unique flask. So we could get, for example, Wise Oak would be really, really nice. Pretty common as well, because that was a level 26 goat, so there wasn't a lot of options in unique flasks. It was like Rot Gut and 3 or 4 other flasks, so it was around a 25% chance to get a Wise Oak there. And that's why finding the unique goat early on for flasks is very common. And Wise Oak is very common as well. Obviously, this would mean that in maps, I would really want to balance my resists. And now that we have it, I might as well explain how it works. So Wise Oak has nothing to do with these resists, the 75, 75, 75. What it does, during fast effect, 10% reduced damage taken for each element for which your uncapped elemental resist is the lowest. So that means that if I use it right now, I will take less fire damage, right? And because I have 117% lightning resist, I will penetrate more lightning, which is great for us. So right now, we could use this as a damage boost. Yeah, you know what? We could use it right now. We'll get more lightning damage and we'll take less fire damage. Now, if you line up all of these resists, so if I had, for example, 83, 83, 83, we would take 10% less any elemental damage, and we would deal 10% more all elemental damage, or up to 15% more. So it's a really, really strong flask, and adds another fun element there that you're gonna hate for balancing your resists. So if you're a little unsure on how to balance your resist, it's a lot easier in Trade League, obviously, where you can search for items, but you particularly want to use the implicits of items. So for example, like if you had like a Sapphire Ring, using Blessed Orbs to go from like 30 to 20 and tuning it exactly how you want there. So once you start getting them within 5 or 10 of each other, it's usually pretty okay to change the crafts on your gear, like recrafting that, or your implicits with Blessed Orbs. And then in a bit, we're going to be switching to Volatile Dead, probably after Merc Lab, but right now we're just going to do this. As you see, it's like pretty fast and a nice pace for leveling through here. Pretty fast. If you're wondering what kind of like crazy gear that we have, and here's another goat. At this level, it can definitely drop a Taste of Hate, which would be very, very useful. But if you're wondering what kind of crazy gear that I'm using right now to make it look so smooth, well, we can go over that real quick when I get to town. So right now I'm using some like pretty expensive gear. A lot of it is not going to be easily accessible. So for example, these prices, oh, never mind. And oh, never mind. Nothing good here either. Just cold resist and lightning resist. Just crafted movement speed, 50 life, and 1 resist. This one's actually not bad. 40 life, try rest. And that one. So the rings are good so far. Just life. Life. Oh, no. Chest, just white with nothing. Oh, helmet. 18% fire res, and then like just a I would quite like to like explain more about the weapon too, so people understand how Spellslinger works. But as you can see, the gear is pretty trash, and we could upgrade it just by, for example, throwing an alchemy or an essence on here. Boom, instant upgrade, and we have an open suffix, which will make it easier to resist cap once you get to cold. Now, you never really want to transmute, for example, this. What you would do is you would just go to your hideout and craft cold rest. So at least use an essence or an alchemy. Don't transmute for links. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about how Spellslinger works in case you missed the first part and you don't want to watch the first 6 hours. So Spellslinger, and what it does is that at the moment you see that supported skills have added spell damage equal to 84% of the damage of an equipped one. Well, what does that mean? So the 26 to 48 flat physical, that's the implicit on the one, the second line of the item, that becomes spell damage. So if I go look at any of my spells right now, you'll see that they actually have physical damage. 61 to 116, and that's just from the wand. So that's a lot that we're getting here, which is really nice. And then the 26 to 41 cold damage to attacks, that also gets added into the damage. So it's really nice, and lets us have like pretty much any wand is great for leveling. You get spell damage, that's great. We use spell damage. You get cold damage to attacks, fire damage to attacks, lightning damage to attacks, physical damage to attacks. That's great. We can use all of those too. Fire damage to spells, cold damage to spells, lightning damage to spells. That's great. We can use it all. The only thing you don't want is crit chance, because we don't care about crit with the way we're doing it. Cyril, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Bob the Builder, thank you for the 18 months. Vita Fair, thank you for the 6 months. Templock, thank you for the 14 months. Neversink, thanks so much for the raid and the host. Appreciate it, dude. So that is, in my opinion, what makes Spellslinger the strongest starter. It is incredibly good. Is crit an option? Yeah, crit's always an option. I don't like it though. And it's getting nerfed nicely. So we're going to continue leveling. We're going to get at least level 63, and that's generally just to make it a little bit safer. Part of the thing that, especially with spells, makes it so fucking good to overlevel is that spells gain a large chunk of base damage per level. Whereas melee, going from, for example, level 15 to level 16 dual strike, could take the damage from like 62.3 to 62.8, right? Which is not really important. It's going to matter more and more endgame when you get good weapons. But you on most builds with melee, you would be completely fine with a level 1 gem and a level 20 gem. Like, you wouldn't notice the biggest difference there. Whereas obviously if you're playing a spell build, the difference between a level 1 gem and a level 20 is everything. And that's why for most builds, and like the one of the tips that I will say the most on my stream is when people are going like, hey, I have low damage, especially if they're tradely, I tell them to open up your trade and go buy a level 20 gem. Especially 1 month in to the league on softcore, you can get level 20 corrupted gems for like 1 or 2 chaos for pretty much any build. And going from a level 18 gem or 17 gem to 20 can be like a 30 to 50% more damage. No, you cannot spell Sling Winter if it's a tunneling. It is not the 0. Unless you become Reflect Immune. And for those of you who are wondering how I'm like farming this area over and over again, you have to hold control when you're entering the area. Control when you're entering the area. So they will be super boring. Every build will be slow as fuck. Why? I think Spellslinger is going to be fast still. We'll see. Do you farm Tabby the Rasa on this build on day 1? No, you don't need it at all for Spellslinger. If by the time I'm level 65, which is probably what I'll go for on League Start, either 65, maybe 68, probably won't do more than that. But if by then I have like 6 humilities, it depends a little bit on how good farming harvest is early, or if I'm even doing harvest early. But yeah. Then I would probably farm a Tabula, but honestly, for the way I'm building, it doesn't matter at all. I don't need it. I can go straight to maps on a 4-link. Real Mad Monkey, thank you for the 14 months, dude. But I think it's a good time to swap to VD. I can swap to it right now. I love Arc and Bow Lightning's cool. This is like a really, really cool setup. So I'm leveling the other gems in my offhand and just doing this for now. How do I get the PoE Vulcan client? Options, but you need to be like logged out. You can't be on a character. Options, and then on the render, it says Vulcan. Or, you know, not. I'm falling in love with Frostbolt Vortex Energy. Yeah, it can be cool. But like, I haven't decided what to league start yet. I'll be deciding that once we get the patch notes tonight. Should be, Chris. Depends on the patch notes. Will Vulcan help with VD? Massively. I tried one of my other builds and I have stable 100, 70 to 100 FPS. I only like whole screen clear builds, one button preferably. Nice. If ED is unchanged, do you think it's worth to farm a Tabula? Yeah, ED is pretty decent. Definitely pretty decent on ED. Do you need a 6-thing at all for SS? No, because on Spellslinger you can just throw in more Spellslingers in your other gear. Like even in a 2-link you could do Spellslinger and another gem. And because if you do something with really, really high damage effectiveness, like take Fireball for an example, that has like 170 or 180 damage added effectiveness, and that's why I'm like kind of considering it's a league starter, depending on what the new Fireball threshold rule does. Hey Amber. So right now I'm going down to Marauder. There's a lot of nice things down there. And being like the Marauder and Templar area is going to be pretty good. Glancing Blow is probably going to be here off this strength node. So then we could just like swoop over there. And then I can't remember. Does anyone remember where the instant Warcry node is? Because that could be pretty good as well. If it's very, very short investment for us, like auto casting, Enduring Cry could be pretty nice. I can't remember if they've exactly said where it is. Bottom. Fuel list. Somewhere down here at Iron Grip. Okay, so if that's here, that's going to be 1 point for us. So that I can very likely see that we're going to be taking the Enduring Cry. That'll give us permanent endurance charges and the whatever Enduring Cry gives. So it's nice. Noxon, thank you for the 6 months. You always say something important, so I don't want to go to the bathroom. Well, I mean, this will be on YouTube as well, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I always feel like I'm not like talking enough about tips. But I'm glad you guys are enjoying the series. What's the TLDR Delirium stuff we need to do if we skip the league? So I will hopefully, after patch notes reading today, try to make a Delirium catch-up video. That's one of the things we like try to have for every league. But also, I can give that as a quick TLDR now, and I'm sure most of the people watching that or a lot will appreciate it. So Delirium is going core, and what Delirium does is it gives you cluster jewels. How do these jewels work? Well, they can only be put in these clusters, right? They look like that, and they're all in the corners. You can have a large cluster jewel, and a large can have a medium in it. So, for example, you could have a large, then a medium, and then a small. A large can have 2 slots in it, so you can have a large, 2 mediums, then 1 small to each medium, right? So there's a lot of skill points you can get there. See if I can log on a different character real quick to show. Trying to think, where is hardcore? Where's my level 100 Hierophant? There, explode the map and I'll give you a quick example and also talk about some good ones. Obviously, I won't be able to do like a quick TLDR of everything, but here's a quick example, right? So here we have the cluster jewels. It's like, I took the elemental damage here, and you can use multiple. These like base ones are especially not limited to 1. And then a large will have between 8 and 12 clusters. Is it 9 is the same as 8 under a special rule? Is it when it has, when it doesn't have that one or something? I think it's if it doesn't have Either if it does or doesn't, I can't remember the exact rule there. But at least, generally you do want 8 passives on a large to save the amount of skill points that you have to waste. But there's like something like, I don't know, with either 3 or 2 of the notables that you can see, then 9 is fine as well. When you don't want the third notable, that's it. When you don't want the third notable, 9 is okay as well, and you don't lose any points. But yeah, lower, always better, with few exceptions. But like, so this one is giving us a 12 lightning damage per on the smaller ones here. And you can roll these. They're going to be harder to roll as well. But what this is giving me right now is this one's giving me 30% aura effect. This one's giving me 10 res and 30 LE damage. And this one is one of the strongest nodes. Hopefully this doesn't get nerfed. Disorienting display, it for a lot of skills gives you a permanent blind aura, which is also affected by AoE. So when I played around with the Hierophant AoE nodes, it was like screen wide. Very, very strong node. And then here we can have 2 medium clusters. You can directly put a small one in here. So if there's no medium ones that you need for your build, you can go large to small. Or you can just go medium or small directly here. So you have a lot of flexibility and options, especially early on, depending on what you find. And then you can see like there's a lot to go through. There's a lot of strong ones for pretty much every build. So a lot of people will try to go like maybe 2 clusters. Like a lot of people will stretch hard for them. How do you get them? They're guaranteed now in Delirium. I think it's 25% chance per level. So it was either on 3 or 4 levels of killing monsters in Delirium. Like you walk through the mirror, that opens Delirium. There's loads of monsters everywhere. They're very dangerous. And then when you get to level 4, you're guaranteed to get one. When you're level 5, it's guaranteed to get one and a 25% chance to get one more. I think it's 4. Maybe it's 3. But either way, you get the gist of it. They're very, very target farmable now. Now, a quick tip as well before we end our like mini TLDR. Delirium is cool. Another thing that's important to remember, if I have like 5 large cluster jewels and I don't need any of them, or maybe they're like 10 to 12 passive skills, then I can sell those as long as they're all the same rarity. So either 5 blue or 5 rare and get a random one. So I could sell, for example, 3 lightning damage, 2 fire damage large cluster jewels, and I will get a new one. And that could have, maybe I need chaos damage, right? Maybe I need chaos damage. Or you can chaos orb them. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about re-rolling them. We're talking about getting a new base jewel. So for example, this one has lightning damage now. But you might not need lightning damage. You might be playing solo Selfan. And you might need chaos damage. Then I can sell all the elemental damage ones. And I can get a new one randomly. And that could be 8 passives. So what I would do, and like the last tip we'll leave it on, what I would do is I would have a tab that I'm like, oh, these are all the ones I'm keeping, right? So for small jewels, actually for small jewels, there are different reasons to use 2 and 3. I usually keep all of them. For medium jewels, 4 or 5 is the same. For curse effectiveness, you usually want 6. And then for largest, like anything with 10 to 12, I would always re-roll, especially on SSF. And I do that on Trey League too, because some of the cluster jewels, especially on hardcore, for example, a 8 passives item level 75 lightning jewel would be 300 chaos at one point. I have several guides for minions on my YouTube. Right, let's continue leveling. Does ball lightning help you in this setup? You seem to move before they hit ending. Ball lightning's here mostly for single target / cleanup duty. Blade Blast, Arcanist, brand on every spell build now? No idea. We'll wait and see on patch notes. I'll most likely do Volatile Dead Spellslinger. And like, it's another thing that, so like, as a streamer, there's sometimes a bit of a pressure to play different things than what was popular last league. Because, you know, your audience generally love, hey, new thing good, this is shiny, I want to see it, right? Whereas if you've played a build 7 times, a lot of people won't always like it. Now, there are some exceptions, right? Where Winter Orb, most people will be like, yeah, dude, play the fuck out of this. This is beautiful to watch. And there are some things like, oh my god, ED Contagion releases. However, the number one important thing, in my opinion, as a racer, is play something you're comfortable with. Because regardless if something is stronger, nothing is more important than being really, really comfortable with a build and knowing exactly what it can and cannot do. Oh! Right, yeah, maybe Isis. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, Vortex. What do you think is the most 21 gems expensive Elite Start's going to be? If I give you that advice, then everyone here is going to level it and then be worthless. Economy advice you probably never want from a streamer. Too many people will end up following it. They'll devalue it. Are you going to go for the Alienware laptop? Haven't decided yet. So every league now, I've been doing the league mechanics a lot while leveling and stuff. And most people are like, Sis, you're crazy. It's like basically in beta at League Start. And I do end up dying to it. In Metamorph, 5 out of my 8 deaths in Metamorph. Or something like that. We'll get... What's this? Wait, why is something off? Sorry if I make you cry. Okay, dude. What level is he? He almost got you? Is this build inspired by Crane 69? I'm frenzying him to death. All builds are. Melee versus Spellcaster in a nutshell? I mean, he is level 20. Something. Type played. So this is like slightly slow for what I would normally do and aim to do at League Start, but it's I'm trying to like explain things for people a lot. But don't worry too much about your pace and stuff. Avi, thank you for the 34-month resub. I love Rice. Right, let's continue with the leveling. I was lagging. Now you have to donate $100. I actually already donated $100 to the charity he's running. Already did. Way ahead of you, champ. Now you do it. Now you do it. I'm a poor student. That's fair. That's fair. Well, then you have to get an A+ on all your grades as a... instead of donating. It's the least you could do, I think. That's the least you could do. Would it be worth to League Start with melee and still be quick in endgame? No idea until patch notes. Did you see the Hype Harvester? The Hype Harvester? What? What MTX is that for Flame Dash? That is called Flame Dash. There's no MTX. I'm not using any. Oh, nice gangsta. A new Harvester game. Alright, let's see. So we're level 63. We'll go to 64. We might as well. Will there be a Spellslinger build guide? Already is one on YouTube. Depending on patch notes, we might make a new one. Depends what's changing. I know a lot of people like up-to-date guides even if nothing's changed. I've probably learned a bit more too, so. What is the smoke? Smoke mine. The Hype Harvester is arriving. Alright, let me go look.
Here you go, this Hype Harvester.
Holy shit. And thank you so much for the $5 donation. Ha! That's me and Methel! Oh, you can have an updo. Oh, that's sweet. I feel included. I feel so included. That was so nice. Oh. I feel so included. That's awesome. I love this community. It's like the coolest thing anyone ever does is whenever someone makes like fan art related things, even if it's like made in paint. It's like the coolest thing ever. Who's in the sky? That is Jonathan. Almost like blanked on his name there. Neon Jonathan. I can't see from the outline. The twin brothers, this and Mathil? Yeah. Me and Mathil have the same birthday. 27th October 1988. And every year I say happy birthday to him and I call it our birthday and he hates it. He hates it. It's awesome. I love it. Oh, let's do the side area. How do you use your flame dash? So anything on your second skill bar that you can access by using control, you can custom bind all of them. So it's to hold control to see them, but that doesn't mean it's control to use them. So I don't need, for example, control... Like, for example, Frenzy is Q, right? At the moment, on the second skill bar. And mouse button 5 is Flame Dash. So it's just an extra set. You don't need to actually use control. You can just rebind them. I'm silent! Go away, map. Oh my god, I hate this fucking silence. I didn't know that. Yeah, there's a lot of things you're not gonna know in Path of Exile. That's honestly, that should be Path of Exile's tagline. Whoa, I didn't know that. It's a very complicated game. Vanity, definitely a great one to pick up. And some sack fragments. PU University is paying off. I'm glad people are enjoying the series so much. If you haven't heard already, nextly it's going to be like something I'm going to work harder on and have it a little bit more planned out and organized content. I'm still doing everything explained next time too. Which is obviously something that's very, very hard to plan out ahead of time. So that in particular might not like be that much change. That's a lot of like, you know, just trying extra hard while leveling. I'll try to have some bullet point things that I like focus on explaining and remember. But all the other things, like the crafting things, will have more like bullet points and be more organized. I'm also going to have other teachers. Like for example, next league I can confirm that Professor Steelmage is going to be joining us. He said he was very, very excited. And I'm going to ask Professor Carvaruscu as well. The problem is that I might be responsible for people's brains blowing up accidentally if I bring Carv on, because his brain's too big. Big thanks to you, your videos made my girlfriend try to learn PoE to play more with me. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. What about Professor Quinn? Well, we might like show like some sort of like death reel highlights to show what not to do. And then we'll pick like my deaths and Quinn deaths and like pick the best ones. Honestly, on a non-joking matter, watching other people die in hardcore is a great way to learn what not to do. There's a lot of... You'll notice that at a league start, I'll generally be too busy to like watch like fun and memes and cool things happening to other people. But I will always take time to watch new players die to deaths. And a lot of the time mods will be like, watch this death. Because it'll be a good way to avoid how to die. And that's saved me a lot. It saved me a lot. Professor Mathil when? Yeah, so like getting Mathil on to like teach everybody how to whisper screen would be fucking amazing. It's something I really want to learn how to do. And just like build stuff would be good. I love the whisper scream, I'm a big fan. But yeah, it would be something that would be fun to get like several people from the community in. And then we'll start it a little bit earlier as well. So next week, I want to have 1 week full of lessons. Means there's going to be a lot of work for me before they start, but it's good. I'm excited. And Jurgen, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Ball side air is particularly good, and the reason we want to do them is to try to get free 6 things while leveling. So you want to do Val side airs, particularly after level 50 areas. Level 50, item level 50 is when 6 things can drop. And you very, very rarely get natural 6 things drop. I'm surprised every time one drops. I think in the last 6 league starts, I think I've only ever dropped 1 6 thing naturally within the first 3 or 4 days. I think that's only happened in 1 out of 6 league starts. Or something like that. It's very rare. And I play a lot. Wicked Surf, thank you for the tier 1 sub as well. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you, thank you. All your money is going to be going to a really, really good cause. Me. Keep it up. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna throw away some random stuff here. I don't really care about being organized. Why are Vol 6 things more common? One of the outcomes that can happen when you Vol something is that it's 6 things. So it'll completely brick, it'll turn rare. So for example, this isn't something you can do on like, hey, I found a shaft, let me just try volleying it on the off chance that it'll 6 thing. It will turn rare, it'll most likely turn very, very off color. What that means is if it's a blue item with higher int requirements, it can turn like lots of red sockets and green sockets. But it has a like 1 in 120 or 1 in 160 chance of 6 thinking. And then you want to recolor it in your crafting bench, so you need to do some delving and get like the 1 red, 1 green, 1 blue recipe. And then that'll cost 4, for example, Val Orbs and 4 chromes. 4 Val Orbs, 4 chromes, and then you can recolor your corrupted item. So it is really, really good odds that it'll be something that you can use, because if you drop an armor base, high chance that it's going to be like blue and green. And if you are an armor build, then you can very, very easily just recolor it to what you need. So instead of tossing a duplicate met armor, you can vol it for an unlikely 6 thing? No. You never ever vol an actual just random chest hoping for a 6 thing. So it's going to reroll it as well, and since it's not worth 120 Val Orbs, there's way, way better uses for Val Orbs. Are you going to map on this account while explaining? Yeah, that is the main purpose of today. Main purpose of today, while helping you guys tide you over till the patch notes. And then when patch notes come out as well, I'm going to read the patch notes on stream and comment on them. So we'll do like one section and comment on anything that I find interesting, basically. And then I'll try to do like a TLDR. I'm going to try to like keep notes during this time of what I feel is the most important thing, and then do like a TLDR of like the important notes. What are the best uses for Val Orbs? Generally, volleying jewels. I vol any okay jewel I get, basically, trying to get immunity to corrupting blood. That means you can, in most cases, get rid of bleed immunity on a flask and open up a slot for something else. Even if that only other thing is more evasion or armor. Or shock immunity and stuff like that. So that's like one use. Some builds will want some of the unique corrupted jewels. Like, yeah, it just depends on what build you are. What else? Sometimes people will vol every okay glove they find for a curse on hit glove. That's like the main like cheap uses. I forgot what's the command to mark the VOD. I'm happy to help with that. Makes Christ's life easier. That would be super appreciated. I can't remember either. You gotta ask one of the other mods of Hero. Does it break the jewel? Volleying anything has a 25% chance to break it. People are definitely going to be racing with the Chaos Spellslinger, depending on patch notes. I probably won't do it because I haven't tried it for leveling. So I would rather be 10 to 20% slower, but super comfortable and knowing exactly what my build can do, rather than trying something new. Can VD Spellslinger do bosses? I did Awakener on day 3 to 5 somewhere on SSF Hardcore. Definitely wasn't a comfortable kill, but... Awesome Medikey. But feel free to like clue Signal in on it too, so he can help with like clips and stuff, because he's here a lot. We might as well use him. Hello, Ivan. How does Spellslinger work? You're better off watching one of my guides for that. That explains it more in depth. I think he gets asked a lot during this. Storage versus axes versus maces for two-hander depends on all the changes that are coming in the patch. Why are we a witch? Necromancer gets like a lot of defensive bonuses. It's like crazy tanky and gets a lot of damage too. Really, really good ascendancy for this. Really good. Loved your League Star guide for this build. Thanks for your hard work. No problem. Also, I just realized I was gonna leave here at 63, so we can leave now. We can go do lab. We might as well ascend with this without changing anything. It's pretty easy. I have 3.4k life and a crazy amount of damage, and as you see, I'm still using shit items. Does it actually give bleed immunity? Well, it'll remove the stacks of corrupting blood on you or remove bleed, but it's not gonna do it over time. There. Yeah, we're with like Scion, Chieftain, loads of other ascendancies. Let's see, we have Pantheon Zizaran. Did the nerf on Sauropod also nerf this lightning? Well, they said they're buffing the damage. They'll probably be around the same. Yes, Janice. What gear are you using? Still the dog shit white items? Yep. Do you ever give POB on your builds? Always. Literally always. I have not to sin. So worth farming Herbalab to get a good helmet on for your build? So if you're farming for your own, that depends a little bit. So some builds will have like 7 to 10 enchants that are good. For example, Spellslinger builds can use multiple spells. And like sometimes you can make use of the aura enchants. I'd say if there's and sometimes you could get one for your movement ability. If there's 10 to 15 plus enchants that you can get that are good for you or okay for you, sure, farming isn't like the end of the day. But generally, no, you really don't want to farm lab for your own enchant. That is incredibly rare. Very, very rare. Aldenus, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Medusa, thank you for the tier 1 sub. And Wicked Surf, thank you for the tier 1 sub as well. Incredibly rare. Yeah, it should be in the manifesto, Rooney. How can I get this is POB? I'll show you real quick. So you open up Path of Building. This works for pretty much any streamer. You write Zizaran in here, and then boom, you have the POB. You have the POB. Oops. The fuck. Dude, I hate the new Windows. It just, oh my god, I hate it so much. I don't know if anyone just did the patch just like me, but it made Microsoft Edge my default browser and like started opening it up in the middle of my, it's horrible. So we're not gonna bother on like going for keys. And as you can see, even though this isn't like a crazy high single target setup, we're just, he's already dead. Just change it? I did. There. Post it. That was actually a browser. That's why I don't update. Well, there's been some like performance updates and stuff that was like crashing NVIDIA drivers or something that was worth updating for, someone said. I can't remember. But yeah, there's... Oh my god. I hate forced updates or anything. Hate it. So I use Windows XP. Windows XP was such a good operating system. I feel like Windows alternates. It goes like one good one, one bad one. One good one. It was like 95 was bad. 98 was great. Came after, wasn't it Mistake Edition after 98, right? When do you start using sextants? You probably would benefit a lot from watching the full like mapping guide I have. I talk about like everything like that there, but like 13 to 16s generally. Why am I doing Crow Lab? That is why it was so easy. What happened there? I probably don't have the thing. Do I not have the thing? I don't have the thing because this is solo self on standard and I've never played that before. I did not notice. Thank you for seeing that. So I need to get the trials for the first time ever. Feels bad. It's okay, just cut that out of the video. These we actually can't edit. They take too long to render, and yeah, sadly, they take too long to render and upload. No, well, I don't do the things anymore, thankfully. Then they would be a lot worse. And hopefully, like, we do have a new YouTube editor now as well, who managed to take over because my old editor wanted to focus on like other things than IRL. So now we are using Spraya as our editor, and he also edits for Rise. So it doesn't always have like as much time. So that's why like things like that now before they start, it's yeah, hectic time. It's a lot of work. The damage is nice, yeah, and we have pretty mediocre gear. We haven't upgraded our wand since like level 35 or something. What's the green range skill? That is frenzy. I need to go to the bathroom soon too. I'm dying. I'm dying. So now we're gonna do Yugul. Yugul can be pretty dangerous, and so can all the porcupines on the way here. Either a Jade Flask or an armor usually deals with that. Sorry, Jade Flask or a Granite usually deals with that. So as you can see, I'm taking very little damage. Where I'm sure a lot of players, particularly new to the game, are used to going like, oh my god, I fucking hate those mobs. I fall over every time I see them. Because that's how they used to be for me at least, and I'm sure a lot of people are in that same boat. Frenzy plus Barrage later, yeah, especially once you go Volatile Dead Spellslinger, then you want Barrage support. Rock to Roth, thank you for the 2 months, dude, and Lumen, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Aldenus, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate support, thank you. I still get one shot by those sparks, then you should use a Granite or a Jade Flask. It helps a lot. So, here we go to skill point. Damage is nice. And then we're gonna go... Shit, I should have gotten the waypoint there. Let's go get the skill point before I forget. How to get the Wise Oak. It's a random drop. We got it from Bestiary. Bestiary is one of the most powerful things you could possibly use at League Start. Actually, I think that would be nice. The Conquerors, once we switch to Volatile Dead DD. But yeah, it is one of the nicest things. We're actually going to go Soul Steel next. Don't think so, Golden Werewolf. Is there any more episodes of Path of Paper? No, got cancelled. Angry, didn't have enough, or got sick actually. He got sick and couldn't continue. Let's see. But it was fun while it lasted. Alright, let's see. Now we're gonna go grab the trial. I usually skip these in these videos, but I don't have it on SSFS softcore. We died in like the start of this, and like I'm so strapped for time at the moment with the league coming up. So, but yeah. And yeah, hopefully people are enjoying the new YouTube videos and stuff. It's going to be a big changeover, and hopefully now with the new editor, the YouTube channel, the plan is to continue making videos even after the league starts. Normally at the moment, the YouTube has sort of been dying after league starts. This is hopefully a change that we're going to stop now, and I'm hoping to put at least 3 videos out a week. Would be like the goal that I want to hit. So if you do like my YouTube content and find that helpful, there should be a lot more content coming. Can Bestiary be efficiently used at least? Yes. Oh, yeah, that was what I was going to start explaining, but then I like forgot because my memory is shit. Bestiary is one of the most important things you can do at League Start. There's a lot of things that are incredibly useful, especially once you get up to like levels, well, actually once you get to maps and stuff, or even Blood Aqueduct. Already in Blood Aqueduct, you can get a 6-Think Beast. It'll just, it's like a big, it's like the bird boss from Aqueduct. It looks like that. And it will give you a random 6-Think, so that can be a staff, a bow, or a chest. But that is obviously very, very useful. And then there's several beasts that give you, for example, remove a suffix, add a prefix, which then ends up being the same as an Exalted Orb and an Annulment. And a lot of the ones that just give you uniques, like, are super useful. That's like the reason why we have the Wise Oak already. There's a lot of good beasts. It's incredibly profitable, and if you are playing the game with anyone, like you get some friends you're playing the game with, what a lot of people do early, and especially late, is yeah, they will chain beasts. So they will like go into a map with a bestiary daily mission on, and then run straight for the red beast, and then both of you are going to get that red beast. So early on, you're just like getting loads of uniques and stuff. Very, very beneficial. Or if you're getting one of the portal beasts for the bosses, then both of you will get that beast. And then you can also, when you're doing the portal beast, you can both get the craft. So then you're getting 2 crafts each, which is really, really good. Hey, Skippy, Rape Shakira Pantheon, yeah. That would require a friend, Ziz. That is true. And if you don't have any friends, you don't have anyone you're playing the game with, but you want to, you can feel free to use my Discord to be like, hey, I live in Australia, I'm playing on Harvest Softcore, and I would quite like to play the game with anyone. Happy to play support, happy to like synergize a little bit. I'm playing these hours every day, or whatever. Like, it's a good spot to find people to play with, and a lot of people have been doing that. There's a lot of benefits that can like be really, really useful to play the game with other people. Like, for example, what me and Embu have done a lot on like league starts is sometimes we'll either pull him or me for currency, and like, okay, there's an armor chest piece for sale, like an armor 6 thing early on for like 13 chaos, and having 13 chaos on league start can be annoying, and but with like 2 or 3 people, 13 chaos or even 20 chaos, it's pretty easy early on. And then once Embu gets the 6 thing early on, he will help me farm another 6 thing for myself a lot faster with the power he gets from a 6 thing. So things like that, incredibly good early on. So you like help each other a lot. Because like, you know, the more powerful your characters are, the more faster you are going. It's very, very good. Hello, Templar. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break after this. Ah. There. I'm going to quick bathroom break. When me and my team started working together, we were pushing the ladder and making 10 times the amount of money. Yeah. If you're an individual, it can be it can be a bit of a struggle making money early on. Whereas if you're in a group of 6 and you know what you're doing, you could make like 5 to 10 mirrors a week, and there are a lot of groups doing that. How much mana do you need for this? Technically 0, but you need some for like firing a frenzy. That's why you want to keep it at level 1 too. Yeah, the sound just slows you down. Right, I'll be right back. Be right back. Hi there. Everybody's saying Rip had under. You can pass any Doctor cards to me in Harvest since it's so useless on all. It's still like probably the single most powerful or one of the most powerful items in the game. But you can't like, it's not going to be like as debilitating, and a lot of players won't feel as forced to use it as before. It just won't be as dumb as it was before. It's still going to be really, really good. What's the best settings for a really bad PC? Everything at the lowest, just like I do. Everything at the lowest. Let's see. You know, I'm always so tempted to throw a few fusings. I only have one, never mind. Never mind. Maybe they only have one? That's wild. Wild, dude. I can't believe I don't have the trials, man. Right, we're gonna continue. Have I done all the passives on this? Have I done growth call? I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, I could just write /passives as well, but I hate doing that when I haven't killed Kitava. I think if you're solo hardcore, your best bet is to aim still maps early out. Yeah, for sure. It's nice that a head-under build can now offset a nice build rather than being built around the core part of the build. Yeah. See, Val side area, we're gonna... It's reflect, I saw it. I have like this thing now in my head that reads out like, this area contains reflect. No, just kidding. Although I did actually unironically see that somebody designed that for maps. Like when you pull up a map, I really should get that. It's like a map filter thing. Also, Vero, are you still here? In before Reflect Death first day? I haven't actually died to Reflect in a while. And I was talking to, about this with Noogie, and I was like, I think both Noogie and Rise both have more Reflect deaths than me now. But I think the reason why people like do me with Reflect is because of the E-oo death. E-oo! Making podcast overlay? Awesome. Oh, is it, Steel hasn't confirmed yet, right? Wanted to league start with brands? That's going well? Yeah, have fun with that. To be fair, brands might be completely okay. It's not something I want to risk for racing, but like they might still be completely okay. Just because something's nerfed in Path of Exile, it doesn't mean that it's dumpstered. A lot of the time, we'll have like a big community outrage, and it will still be like oftentimes stronger than other things. People are very, very quick to outrage there. I don't want to start with it for sure, though. Like, there are times where things are completely dumpstered. Like, for example, Archmage might be completely fine as well. We'll see. Let's see, let me, you know what? I wouldn't mind 4-linking that. My helmet's so garbage. So, like, now that as you can see, I have very, very bad items, right? So now I would... Really, dude? Well... I need to switch soon anyway to Spellslinger Desecrate Spell Cascade. So I guess I'll keep it for that. Do you have a POB for this build? Yeah, I have a full build guide for this. A full build guide for this. And obviously you always have access to all of my Path of Building like characters just by typing in my name instead of yours in Path of Building. Switch links with the chest. Yeah, I could do that. I'm too lazy, honestly. I'm about to switch to Volta Dead. I just want to send first. I'm too lazy to switch it. Especially as, like, we have 3.5k life and crazy damage. And we're, even with, like, several items that are, like, white, and like, not particularly well rolled, I have 140, 135, 162. Partially because of my Ascendancy. Really, really nice. Chieftain changes are up. There's Chieftain changes? That is worth looking. What are the differences? Regen, 5% chance to gain endurance charge on kill, that's nice. 0.5 life per endurance charge, +1. 15% more damage if you've lost an endurance charge. Lost? Trigger Tawa is chosen when you attack with a slam near an enemy. Thanks, I hate it. That's a nerf? I don't like that. Not a big fan. Tawa's chosen triggers when you use the slam attack, creating an image which mirrors your slam attack. Oh, that sounds nice. Neat, neat. Like the loose endurance charge thing. It's like specifically made for tectonic slam or discharge, I guess. Wait, what was the name again? Oh no, it was more damage. It would work with discharge. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a massive fan there. So a quick tip to give about like trials and traps in general, which I love saying. Generally, the faster you go through them, the less likely you are to die. Most of the time when you see a streamer or a newer player die to traps, it's a lot of the time when they panic and they end up like zigzagging and just trailing the trap on their face, and their life pool hits 0 and their character is dead. That is most of the time what happens. You very rarely will see someone speed running through the lab and die. Because when you're running through with a Quicksilver, movement abilities and stuff like that, there's not enough surface area that the trap can even damage you in that it could kill you. It just doesn't have enough area. Carnage Heart, not bad. I really wonder if Arcanist Brand would work with Desecrate and Volta-Led. I think that would be super fun. Arcanist Brand in general sounds pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of the new identity they've given to brands. And they've like changed them a lot in my opinion for the worse. But yeah, they could still be fine. Massively Sender, yeah. They'd already fixed a lot of the League Star lag issues. But yeah. Well, that was just 5 runs. Yeah. 6 Incorrupted ones. Pretty nice to farm in the last side areas. Really good at League Start. I'm hoping to see a lot of people on their League Starters where we're farming well side areas and getting some usable 6 things there. Any tips on getting 6 trials faster in maps? Sure, so that's something I wanted to talk about once I get to maps, but the biggest tip there is spamming low-level maps is obviously really good, but particularly rushing Zana, so getting a tier 3 map very quickly so that you get Zana, and then remembering every time you do a Zana daily, you want to check, not so much for the map you're missing, but you want to check for, what's that? There. You want to check the Zana maps for it contains a lab trial. That helps a lot. That helps a shit ton. That's like generally how within like 12 to 16 hours of a league start, I will have like all the trials and we'll be like running that. Contains what? A lab trial. Is it in the mod's description? Yep, we'll show that once we get there. How do I know? That's why I said, that's why I wanted to explain this part when we get there. Resolve Trial of Ascendancy Sana mission? Yep. That's it. Vendoring Carnage Heart. Well, I mean, it's not like I'm keeping this character and I don't need a... Yeah, we don't need it. We don't need anything. Complete lab trial is on its objective. That's it. If you're on Trade, you can buy the Dream Trial Prophecy. Yeah, and also going to Global 820 on both Trade and Hardcore Softcore. How do you roll Nemesis beyond maps Chaos Spam? Yeah, I just like look for it while I'm rolling my normal maps. If I get one, I save it. If you're talking about the map types video. Lastly, I found the last trial at level 90. I mean, like, you can always force it. The worst luck I've ever had is like 82 or 85 or something. If you spam low maps, you find them very quickly. Especially while doing the Zana trick that we just mentioned. Hello, probably. What are your feelings on the Zana map mods this league? I like it. Well, I like it and hate it. So there is no beyond on the Zana modifiers this league. But the reason I like it is because for the 100 race, I love being very lazy with my chaos. And just using that online random stuff to get gear. Whereas what is like very anxiety inducing on the 100 race is having to worry about like oh, maybe Gucci has like 700 chaos saved up. He's been like playing slightly slower. He's still in top 10, but he's been playing slightly slower and doing chaos recipe. And now he's about to spam beyond, right? That has been very real worry in some races. And now you don't so much have to worry about that. Don't need that anymore, son of less. How many hours before they start? Do the queue start? 2 or 3? Usually 2. Sometimes a bit more. Just gonna grab some more life here. Hey, Burn, what's up? Is Harbinger good XP per hour? No. Harbinger is good negative XP per hour. Already done, TQ. I think the Breach 2 chaos is really, really cool. It talks a little bit about how heavily they've nerfed Breach since it came in, that they're actually putting it with 2 chaos to use it. When Breach first came in, it would drop 1.5 maps worth of loot in 1 Breach. So it was like incredibly currency drop league and like everything drop league. And then it's been nerfed. How many times has Breach been nerfed and launched now? 3, 4, 5? Because it used to be 8 chaos for Breach Zizaran and it was still super profitable. Greetings from Russia. Привет. Добро пожаловать на мой канал, товарищ. Пожалуйста, говорите по-английски. 8C Breach locked behind the level 8 Sana, right? Yeah, so it was like pretty crazy before. Pretty crazy before. I don't have an ETA for the Harvest patch notes yet, but historically, these come out between 1 PM and 6 PM New Zealand time. I'll do the best to let you know when we're about an hour away. Okay, so we're always at least an hour away. At least an hour away. Thanks, Flamin. Yep, Susima. Yeah, I need to go to sleep. Sleep well, my dude. Ow. That hurts. You have great Russian? Thanks. I know those sentences. Someone asked her between a cup of coffee to go to sleep. What should they do? She said go to sleep, so a bit away, I think. Yeah, I mean, earlier when somebody asked, I predicted 5 hours. I would say 3. I would say at least 3 hours from now. I mean, we've had them be 4 AM before. I wouldn't be surprised if they were 4 AM again. Would not be surprised. I will be streaming until patch notes. Thank you for your 2 videos. They've been very helpful. No problem, dude. Well, it's full. Alpha, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Rocktroth, thank you for the 2 months. You're going to stream the reading. Yeah. I wasn't planning on like, okay, patch notes are here. Time to turn off the stream. That sounds counterproductive. That sounds counterproductive. So, a tip here for the Black Core that I quite like doing, like the what order to do these in. I always do Chevron first, Dodri next, and then Maligaro last. Now, I only really care about doing that because of Val skills, and that's because depending on the build that I'm playing, whether that be something using Val Molten Shell for survival, or something like, you know, Val Blade Vortex, or some like nice single target ability, the reason why I like doing that is because I can very quickly nuke or survive the boss fight using Val skills on both Dodri and Chevron without any worries, and then I'll always have them ready for the next. And then I don't need to use them on Maligaro. Because it's such an easy fight and it's impossible pretty much to die to the Maligaro version there. You just like, you get him low and then he starts splitting up into illusions. You don't stand in the Chaos Rain and there's very little he can do. Whereas Chevron has a slam that can be pretty painful and Dodri is Dodri. So, Deidre! Deidre is the way you pronounce it here in Northern Ireland. It's actually a pretty common name. Deidre. Deidre! Belfast mate. If you put 2 identical spells, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Can't have 6-star Spellslinger. Keeping it together, bro. Alright, let's see. So here we're coming up on Deidre. Should I buy a div card stash? I find most of them are trash and I can keep the ones I want. If you find most of them are trash, then you're reading wrong. Like, a lot of them are very useful. Sure, there are a lot of trash ones, but still. You know, you should hide behind like a pillar here and then not kill it. Ow. But yeah, it is very, very useful. Very, very. Do all triggers share cooldowns? I don't remember if exactly all of them do. A lot of triggers share cooldowns, but no, not everything. Holy crap! I thought you were on the other half of the planet. What do you mean? America? When do you do those abyss counters, if at all? Actually, it wouldn't be bad for me to do abyss counters already and getting a searching jewel. And then if I got that, what I would roll is, I would roll, ideally, up to 8% chance to proc onslaught. With age, you become more courageous. That's true, I'm very old. And like, never cease to amuse me that last league, somebody asked me, like, Zizaran, how do your parents feel about, like, how much you play video games and what you do for a living? Have they, like, said a lot about it and stuff like that? And I was like, oh, and then he also said, like, if I'd considered getting an education. And I was like, how old do you think I am? And he was like, 16. And I was like, are you severely, like, sight impaired? Like, are you blind? Like, I don't look 16. Maybe if I shave my beard. Obviously, I had a shorter beard then, too. But, yeah, I'm 31, bro. Like, yeah, that's some wild shit. That's some, like, borderline blindness stuff. But to be fair, it's very, very hard to tell, like, how old streamers are. Like, Nugi is 43, Rice is 23, and, like, a lot of people always, like, get that wrong when guessing. Blue hair equals young? Yeah, 16 going on 31. And I already have an education. I have a computer science in Googling. Sorry, I mean, I have a bachelor in computer science. Or a bachelor in Googling, depending on how you want to look at it. I missed the further back webcam. You're hiding your chinny chin chin. I know. I know. For this fight, decoy totem helps a lot. The boss fight can be fairly dangerous. Nugi's not 43. Mm-hmm. Rice is 23. Yep. It's pretty cool. He looks 20. Other days 35. Nugi is age fluid. Very, very hard to tell. Here we got another. We would just keep that in the stash. They're useful to keep. How old's Mathel? Exactly the same age as me. What does he look way younger than you? No facial hair. I actually look very young with no facial hair. Like a beard does. It's insane how much facial hair does. How old is Rice? 23. 2-second cooldown. Oh wow. Right, so we're just gonna continue. We got Bannon, got the quest, got everything we need. Our gear is shit, we don't need better gear. Except Mathel looks good. Thanks, dude, I appreciate that. That was really sweet. Why do you think so many streamers ignore their chats? Just did my first Eternal Lab. Thanks for your guide, sis. No problem, dude. Happy to help. You're on hardcore? Usually. This actually isn't. I died. In Val. It doesn't really matter for this. I'm playing exactly the way I would in hardcore, except the whole dying thing. You're beautiful, I would. Thanks. Don't like what your chat is like. Become Thanos and change it. I don't want to ban people all the time. You're younger than Mathel, lol. Me and Mathel are the same age, born in 1989. Actually, Mathel was born in 1988. Same as me. Any speculation on the new lab? Nope. Well, I mean, it's not so much speculation. I'm just pretty sure that it is a harder lab. Not sure on the level, maybe level 80 or 83. And obviously gives no ascendancy point, just more rewards. Right. Here we're going to drop a portal, and then we're going to go do Valenta, just to save ourselves a little bit of backtracking here. %, skippable, yeah, and that's what I wanted for a long time anyway for Uber Lab. I've been like suggesting and wanting like a really hard Uber Lab that there's no reason to do except if you like that kind of content, and then it's really rewarding. Your gaming chair looks comfortable. I'm in the market. Any suggestions? This is like a Corsair Mark 2 or 3, I don't know, but I would never ever buy a chair without sitting in it. This isn't like something I got for free through a sponsorship. I did buy this, but 100% would never buy a chair without sitting in it. Or like some things will have like you can return it for the next days. That works too. Omega enchants. I don't think they'll give stronger enchants, but I think like a really cool hard lab where, you know, maybe the traps are one-shotting. Traps that do 100% damage, so that unite. It's really a massive challenge to do lab, or just like a lot more damage than normal. But like that, there's the only reason you go in would be for crazy rewards, because there's such a large portion of the player base that don't like lab that you would want it to not be mandatory at all. Which one's better? I haven't tried the other one. Maybe give you a choice of enchants. Yeah, seen a lot of suggestions like that too. Oh damn, scroll them. Push for more boss. So most of the Spellslinger builds that I've tried, none of them have been like insane boss damage. They have done like Awakener and everything like that on them, but they're not like builds that are gonna like brap boss dead. Like they're not gonna have like 5-10 million damage most of the time. Obviously anything can with a crazy investment, but mostly they've been clear speed builds. No mental. Nice smile. From Halrex, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Tallest man on earth, thank you for the 3 months. Now, Valenta is very dangerous. There's a few moves she could do, or she. That one is particularly dangerous. And like moving in like a consistent way is generally a good way. So if you're worried about this blood rain, you can, same as the Brine King, just go to town and then go back down and AFK until she comes back down. Obviously, that will spawn a lot of test subjects. So if you struggle with ads without like, this can be a problem for some builds, that there's going to be a lot of ads. Obviously not for this one. They're all dead as soon as I break invulnerability. And then you just need to be careful with the burst moves. Generally, if you're moving in a circle like this, most of it isn't going to hit you. So just like move around, and she's probably at most going to do half. Are you happy that the LGBT community is making progress? How has that affected your personal life and how you feel? So that question is phrased as if you think that I'm personally gay, which I'm sad to say that I'm not. So if that is a disappointment to you, I'm really sorry. However, I think that every human being, regardless of sexual orientation or skin color, should be treated exactly the same. The only reason to bash somebody should be on whether they play hardcore or softcore. And I am, of course, joking, but I love saying that. But yeah. You're not gay, my heart is broke. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. He finally shows his true colors. But yeah, no, I think everybody deserves to have a happy life. Why bash on hardcore players? That isn't fair. Haha, good one. Let's see. Even softcore players. I mean, I never actually bashed on softcore. I think if you bash on somebody for their league choice or anything like that, it's pretty dumb. Except console gamers, they're the true heroes, dude. They're a bit like firemen, you know? Because everybody, and the reason I say they're a bit like firemen, is because whenever you boot off Path of Exile on a console, for those of you who don't know, fires in just America alone, like house fires, went up 3,061% as soon as Path of Exile launched on console. And that's just because it makes the console so warm that it very, very often triggers house fires. So it's very, very risky to play Path of Exile on console. Right, so the only reason we're doing this is to get the lab trial. Obviously getting, I think that is regrets as well. I can't remember. It's something useless that I don't need right now. And generally as well, this running through it fairly quickly while flame dashing, you're gonna be fine. Here you can just flame dash across there, and you're completely safe. And here we can just quicksilver through and avoid taking damage. There, we've done all that. Now we're gonna ascend. As a console player, I can confirm the house fire problem. I know, it's very sad. Very, very sad. Nice coding. Playing hardcore on console reduces fire risk. So now we're in a level 68 zone. I'm level 67. At this point, our single target is probably going to start falling off a little bit. It's obviously still quite high, but let's see. I'm not sure what level. I'm not sure what level my wand is. Let's see. Let's just link it in local chat so it doesn't use gem levels. It's a level 35 wand that is doing all this damage. So obviously, it is quite nice still. And that's like the true power of spellcasters, is you don't need to care much about your weapon early on. What's the build guide, Mariost? I try to avoid like build specific questions at the moment. I think Steam is having maintenance. Yeah, so a lot of the time, and that's the big downside with using Path of Exile on the Steam client, is 2, sometimes 3 times a year you won't be able to play Path of Exile here and there. Most of the time, maintenance is going to happen at a good time for you and you're never going to notice it. But as a streamer, every year, 2 or 3 times, I do get people bitching, going like, hey, how are you playing? Steam is down. I'm like, ha 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 ha. I don't play on Steam. And there's another huge downside on Steam as well, that it tracks the amount of hours that you have played the game. So you know exactly how many hours of your life Path of Exile has claimed. Can be a pretty big downside. True. For me, I usually just look at that number on how many hours I've streamed. I think I've streamed... It's somewhere between 13 and 15,000 hours of Path of Exile I've streamed, I think. And I like... Maybe a bit more, I can't remember. It's very hard to tell for me now how much time I've played. I usually estimate it around 20,000 hours. Either way, it is a lot. Mirrors per hour rate, though. You have to have more than 20,000 hours? No, because the reason why it's not higher than that is because you gotta remember, I've only been playing a crazy amount the last 4 years. I've been playing PoE for 7 or 8 years, but I played very, very casually in the start. Or a lot more casually. Like, before starting streaming, I had, I'd say, as an estimate, 4,000 hours. I have like an old email from GDD where they actually told me my playtime. Like, they just tallied up the played on all my characters because I hadn't deleted any. That was a very, very long time ago. But yeah, I think I had like 4,000 hours before I started streaming. And then I probably have 2,000 or 3,000 hours off stream. Like, since I started streaming. Especially in Metamorph. Metamorph, I played a lot off stream. I think I had like 200 hours or something. Even very early in the league in Metamorph, I would start farming off stream. Because it's something I really, really enjoy. And I would do beach maps off stream, or glacier maps, and Legion and Metamorph. I played a shit ton off stream, and then I always like record off stream. Particularly when I'm on Trade League, but I always do it, but like, it's particularly started because I'm on Trade League. Because as a streamer, just because of how many hours you play the game and stuff, a lot of the time you're going to be accused of cheating in some way. People will accuse you of either that the game just has higher drop rates and are favoring you for being a streamer because GGG just wants to show off their game and their crazy good drop rates. And the other thing is people will accuse you of getting items for free from other players. So if I ever like find something off stream, I always, or lose the character, that too. But then I always have like, well, you know, if someone's really die hard about it, like, oh, Zizaran farmed off stream and got a taste of hate, then I can just play the video and show them the taste of hate I got. People don't actually think that, they have to be trolling. So, GGG even said once that they actually get emails, long emails from people complaining about the unfair treatment of streamers and how streamers get higher drop rates and that it makes them want to quit the game because they always see streamers have 6 things on day 1. So like this is obviously a real problem that people do complain about. And like, I mean, I can definitely see that because like if you are especially if you're new to the game and you don't always know what you're doing, and then you're comparing yourself to somebody that plays the game as a living, like a lot of people, and this is something I kind of hate, I see this a lot on Reddit or a lot in Twitch chat, and a lot of people will say, well, if they played as much as streamers do, they would have the same RNG. That's not true at all, because it's not just about how many hours you play, but it's also how efficient we are. A lot of the people who are like newer to the game and stuff, right? Like in the time I've done one map, in the time they've done one map, I might have done 10 to 15, right? And I know exactly like how to build my characters, exactly what I'm looking for, like the best way that I want to farm 6 things. And I'm also like, because I play the game for a living, it's very, very fast for me to learn new league mechanics because I already know all the other ones, right? Like, because it's not going to be like the above average. It's mostly going to be like people that are fairly new to the game that are like, maybe all they get to in one league is like level 80 or 85, right? And then they see streamers who are doing crazy shit, maybe get to like level 93 in the first like 15 hours. Then they're like, something's up here, right? And then you have players like Bertini that, you know, they're getting to level 92 and that takes them like 600 hours. Because like the game is like also like if you are like Bertini and you're 73, then you're playing at a very different pace. How many whole mirrors have you dropped till now? So I've personally dropped 3 mirrors. 2 solo, 1 of them was before streaming and 1 was in a group. You're racing this league? Yeah, I race every league. That is possibly going to be an exception soon. And the last 2 leagues, I've dropped out of the race fairly early if I don't feel like I could win. But this league, I'm feeling really fucking happy again, really energized. And I'm gonna go really, really hard. I'm obviously getting older, and that makes it harder as well. But yeah, I'm feeling super pumped and ready to go, dude. Pumped and ready to go. And more fat. Thanks, Bertini. I hope you somehow rip and lose your character on softcore. I love you, dude. Right. Now we can get Corpse Pact. This is getting changed slightly. It doesn't affect this build, but it is getting changed slightly. What the fuck? 3 keys, streamer RNG? Yeah. And also, there's a word for something else that happens with streamers. What's the word like when you only see the positive stuff? Confirmation bias? No, there's a word for it. Maybe it is that one. But at least, like, you know, you'll sometimes, if you don't watch the streamer, selective memory, crangling. Yes, confirmation bias. Like you'll like a lot of the time on Reddit, even if like they don't like, maybe they fucking already hate my stream, right? And then if you already hate somebody as a human, everything that person does is going to annoy you, right? Like there's probably quite a lot of people in here that maybe originally didn't like me. And I bet you while you originally didn't like me, even if you warmed up to me over time, everything I did annoyed you. And when I die, you'd be like, fucking yes, Sis died, right? Huddy hates this very easily. My voice is super annoying for a lot of people. Anyway, and then you have like the confirmation bias too. It's like, oh, Zizaran found a 6 thing. Yeah, of course it is. It's a streamer, right? And then you just see like good things happen. Like you're not gonna post like, Zizaran used 6,000 fusings and didn't get a 6 thing. That doesn't get posted to Reddit. Reverse this effect. Never hated you, just didn't understand a damn thing you said. So I'm actually trying really hard right now, especially during all my tutorials, reading of patch notes and anything. I'm trying to enunciate and pronounce things extra clear. Trying to slow down a little bit on the things the way I speak while reading and stuff. I didn't really watch you before you got the good mic. Alright, that makes sense. Oh yeah, let's switch to Volatile Dead now. How do you prevent your wrist from hurting after long hours of play? I don't. I suffer a lot. But I do like random hand stretches. I just googled hand stretches and did those. Yeah, Alex, that happens a lot too. Esther Claire got you. So at the moment, I don't know how to set up like mixers and stuff properly. And on my current mixer setup, I have something called a de-esser. So whenever I can't show it right now because I can't turn my web camera. But it's supposed to make S a lot softer. So anytime I use S right now, it's a bit unclear. And I don't really know how to configure all that shit. Thanks, Jules. Why LA weakness instead of conductivity? Because I have multiple damage sources. I have cold, fire, and lightning damage. I hear humbleness in your voice, makes it pleasing to listen to, in my opinion. I wouldn't say I'm the most humble person, and I would say this might be a stupid take. I feel like a lot of people feel very, very pressured to be humble. I feel it's very important. Like if you're proud of something, fuck it, dude. Be proud about it. Sometimes it's completely fine to brag about things. I feel and see so much of people like forcing themselves to be humble. If I'm proud and happy about something, oh yeah, shit. Thanks. If I'm proud and happy about something, I will be very, very obvious. Like there are very many moments where people I feel at the moment are kind of fake humble. I don't like it. I think fake humble is worse. I know a lot of people like, yeah, I don't know. If I'm happy and proud about something, I'll be unabashed proud. Which turns a lot of people off. Like I think I've gotten a lot of comments from people who don't like my stream and say like I'm arrogant and elitist. And I think that's part of it, that I'm like not always very humble. Are you proud of us? I'm very proud of us. I'm proud of the community we have here. Like the fact that we have this many people that are watching every day is insane. Right, let's see. What do I want to do? Okay, now we're gonna switch to Volatile Dead. So when you're switching this early, maybe I do want more. Oh, I have green here. When you're switching this early, I haven't actually tried switching to Volatile Dead without a 6 thing, have I? Let's see, because I can't remember exactly. So we need some spell cascades actually. We might need one more 3 link. I think we do. Let's see. I haven't done this early with the exact same stuff. Can you get a voice changer program? I like your gameplay, but if you sounded like Tarky Cat, I would sub. Interesting. Well, I mean, I could try like speaking like this. Does that help? Let's see. Thanks, Insisaratum. Spell Cascade. Let's see. And I'm on Volatile Dead. We don't need hypothermia right now, although we can use it. Usually I pre-plan this better, but you know, whatever. Right, we remove that. We'll throw in the Volatile Dead that we were leveling from before. We'll have a separate setup for Detonated Dead. That sounds better when we're on a 4 link. We'll have Spellslinger, Volatile Dead, Control Destruction. We'll do LA Focus for now. LA Inspiration is really, really good as well. Inspiration. Oh, so an annoying thing with inspiration, while it is a really, really good setup early on, it makes it so if you have to use inspiration in your frenzy, because on Spellslinger, you're never using mana, so actually, I explained it better in my guide, but you have to have inspiration in your frenzy setup to use it in your spell setups. So that's annoying. Jax, thanks so much for the 29-month resub. Really appreciate that. Always good to see you. Genio, thanks for the 2 months. And Blah, thanks for the 10 months. Parcival, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Let's see. So, what did I want? We have Controlled, Volatile, Spellslinger, and then I need Cascade. We have that here. We have 2. We have 1 Cascade here, 1 Cascade there. Here, we'll do Detonate Dead. Let's see. We'll get this 3 link. That should be fine for now. No, you know what? That's what we'll do. We'll have it 3 linked, but we'll have... need fusings. I can't buy fusings here. Dual wheel. Thank you for the 9 months. You can use inspiration with shield charge, though. Yes. That's more annoying, though. That's way more annoying for boss fights and stuff. I hate that setup. Let's see. But yeah, there's a lot of options. Wait, here. Fusings. There. Don't really care about Desecrate being leveled up. Do I have one? No. We'll level it up over time. It does help for damage. Headhunter still viable? Yeah. Still one of the best items in the game. Just not as busted as it currently is. There. I should add one more Spellslinger, but it doesn't really matter for that one, I guess. Actually, it doesn't matter at all for this one. Spellslinger, and then we need Spell Cascade. We don't need anything else in these. Spellslinger, Spell Cascade, Detonate Dead, and then 1 damage support. So we'll just use Controlled, that's fine. Thoughts on the Hegemony nerf? Both the Hegemony and Disintegrator nerf seems a little bit out of touch, in my opinion. The Starforge nerf seems fine. Hegemony is obviously a completely dead item and has been for the last 5 years. Now it's going to continue so. And Disintegrator would probably be one of the strongest items in the game without a nerf. And I think that would have been completely fine. Would have been completely fine because it's an Uber Elder drop. And a pretty rare one at that. And Hegemony's already tier 1 rarity. How are you going to tell if I finished a map? If you're running out of monsters to kill. Don't ever actually bother fully clearing a map. Clear out like it's like eating a watermelon or something. Clean out the main meaty bit. Don't bother scraping out the red bits. Mapping with this, kind of like a watermelon. Right, let's see. How is that for Spellslinger? We have 55 mana left. Auto dead Spellslinger. Something is still on that shouldn't be. We don't need this setup anymore. There, and then we need our corpse setup. Boom, perfect. Great for mana and could very, very easily fit a 5-link, I think. Have you ever played OSRS? Yeah, I used to play like 18 years ago or something. Right, let's continue. So now we have switched to Volatile Dead. Easy to remember, or good to remember thing, that Hypothermia is a good damage gem as well. The reason why that works is because enemies near your corpses you spawned recently are chilled and shocked. Hard words, dude. Hard words. Let's see. Where is my smoke mine setup? I think I put that in my stash because I'm an idiot. So it doesn't matter if I skip a map's final boss. Well, seeing the boss is usually very easy. It's very, very easy. I'm starting to mispronounce everything. Very, very easy normally to see. The boss is usually pretty easy because it's a bit unique. It's a harder fight. If you're new to the game, it'll sometimes one-shot you. So that's usually fine. But you don't need to clear every single mob. And the first time you're doing the map, you'll get a notification. Toaster, thank you for the tier 3 resub and the 2-month resub. Thanks so much. Tree Dog, thank you for the 3 months. Zizaran, thank you for the Twitch Prime. I'm trying to call them out in batches as they happen at the moment, so we can focus more on gameplay and give as much advice to people. Oh, another thing, we now want to switch to barrage support as well. This isn't bad, but it is more ideal to have barrage support. Duct tape, thank you. There, let's go do that. Now, the Volatile Dead and stuff like that, if we had put them on earlier, they probably would be level 16, maybe 17 by now, which is a lot more damage. I'm a bit sloppy and put them in late. Here, barrage support costs 1 alchemy. Goodbye. There. And now I'll show you why we're doing that. Just make a new stone. It's good for XP anyway. So at the moment we're using barrage support, curse on it, elemental weakness. Elemental weakness because we have multiple, not just one damage type. But yeah, here. So now, since we have barrage support, it's spawning, it's doing the desecrate, but also the volatile dead in the first, barrage. Most of the time. Not always. Not always. Depends how fast you're going as well. But it's a lot better playstyle. And there, now, even though the gem is only level 15, wow.
Scam train.
You get so much of that. Thank you for the 100 share, Duct Tape. Appreciate it. 200 share. And Dustless. Thank you. Appreciate it. More people are upset about the Hedgie nerf than people actually played it. Well, I think the reason that people are a little upset is because it feels really, really out of touch. And that it's something that would be cool for people to find, even if they weren't going to play it themselves, if it was a good thing. And just like something that would convince a few more people, like, oh, you know, maybe I'll actually use staves now. Like, it's just really, really... Even if something was, like, best in slot, that was never something, if it was left in exactly like it is, just with the buff that it's going to get, it was obviously not going to be broken. I definitely understand that they really want rare items to be the best in Path of Exile. Something that can be very, very hard if you're coming from... What's happening? If you're coming from Diablo, like, obviously you might be very, very used to uniques being the best and, like, set items and stuff like that. In Path of Exile, generally, rare items is always the best thing. But, you know, it's completely fine to have strong uniques as well, especially if it's only for one punch. I may have seen scaling issues, but not on Hedgies. On Disintegrator, maybe. So normally we would have, like I said, 2 levels higher on the Detonate Dead and on the you know what? I actually wonder if Volatile Dead alone instead of with or with like a non-corpse skill might be better early on for bosses, because later on something I'd quite like to anoint would be the new what was it they teased? They teased like the corpse thing. Do you remember what it's called? The new corpse thing they teased. +2 corpse node thing. Like, that is going to be really nice for this, because on bosses, and what like drags the single target a little bit, Undertaker, that's it. What drags the single target a little bit is for clearing. You have enough corpses, right? You're making your own and killing monsters. However, for bosses right now, we're not making enough for Volatile Dead and the Desecrate. So that can be annoying. Whoops, wrong area. Chamberlain, thank you for the 5 months. This is Volatile Dead. See you later, Shmoo. So now we're gonna go here. Did we talk to him? I can't remember. Maybe I didn't. Ah, it's annoying. Alright, let's see. So we are coming up to maps here, and what we're gonna do now is we're going to like explain everything I would do both before maps and like at the start of maps. So very, very easy. Make sure that you're either resist capped or that you can easily resist cap, or at least be like 67 plus or something like that when getting to maps, right? A lot of people were earlier in the first playthrough asking like, hey sis, what do I do if I kill Kitava and I'm not resist capped? It's like, well, it's not a random number of resist you're losing when you kill Kitava. You're not going to be like, I lost 75% resist on this character. No, you're going to lose an additional 30 resist, right? So you know exactly how much you're going to lose. Don't go like Pikachu face and be like, wait, my resists? So make sure that you can be resist capped when killing Kitava. That is very, very important. Don't tip 2 ideas. Break character. Like, it's a bit of an odd thing, right? You're never going to be Pikachu surprised when killing Kitava. You're always knowing. And then what you would do then is farm Blood Aqueduct or Harbor Bridge. Depends a little bit on the league, like I've said a few times in the past. And then you can get your gear there. Make sure to make good use of your crafting bench. Even just for one transmute, you can get up to like 28 or 18. I can't remember what it goes to. There was this thing. Like right now, especially on this build, I'm like, it's so easy. I have not helped Alira, and I still have a white item and like items without resist. And I'm like basically ready for killing Kitava already. And yeah, you can very easily get resist cap on most builds. It gets a lot harder once you're starting to rely on a lot of unique items. Do you ever die during Act? Very rarely during these starts. I actually died on this character while being sloppy with Val. But very rarely at League starts. Not lately. Was it Metamorph or Legion in the last 2 years is the only time. Usually just while getting sloppy. Betrayal, I remember dying during leveling. Got one shot by Barishi or something. Vegan. Metamorph, yeah. Usually you die once every 6 months or every year while leveling. Probably around that. No, actually, I thought it was Haku. It wasn't. If you look at the VOD, it's actually the like... Betrayed League Star. Yeah. But it did look like Haku because he slams at the same time. This only dies twice a year. I die. I think my average right now is every 130 or 150 hours. Well, that's actually only including my... Well, yeah, something like that. His build is very pretty. So, Kitava is, in my opinion, in Act 10, a lot easier than Act 5. He doesn't have the same slam here. Yep, we've already done the 3rd lab. That's what I did before switching to Voltel did. Wait, is Ramatin in chat? What's my fiance doing? What do you want? What do you want? Have I done something? No, I'm just kidding. How are you? I love you! They fucked the Berserker Warcry node. So sad, man. Well, no, it's like kind of a buff. It's way more damage now. Just less quality of life. Way more damage now. Way more damage. There, the thing that a lot of people don't like, the degen on the ground is pretty bad. Yes, Lois is. Hi! But yeah, the degen on the ground pretty bad. With this build, it's very easy because everything pretty much dies. This is instantly spawns. Don't stand in the fire. Should never stand in the fire. Once he's in his last stage, he does a fire that covers the entire area except for a sliver where he stops. So if he starts over there, it'll be like a sliver here. Part of the charm of Volatile Dead is that you'll have loads of balls littering the arena waiting for the next stage. Now at the start of some boss fights, that would be a bad thing because they have a lot of damage resistance as they first come out. But, you know, like the 2nd and 3rd part, like now, then they're just like getting like pretty much instant. Fazadon, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs, dude. Thank you. You reach 60 orb cap quickly? No, only like between stages. Never in actual practice. But yeah, SEC. Easy. Now he's doing the full screen attack, and then you just stand here, and you're completely safe, and you cannot die. He leaves like a little pizza slice of safety you can stand on. But the Act 10 Kitava is, in my opinion, a lot easier than Act 5. The ads is the most dangerous thing of both. But yeah, moving a lot so you avoid the like thunders they do helps a lot. I'll get him snacks, or maybe I should get you snacks. He doesn't seem interested. Very interested in snacks. That would be amazing. I'm actually going to take a stretching break now. As well, now that we killed Kitava, we are now a total of minus 60 all resistances. What are the build guides we get this season? Depends on the patch notes. I want to do at least 4. Want to do at least 4. Right, now, the first thing you do when you've killed Kitava, first, check your resistances. We are not cold resist cap. Now, obviously, we can very easily do this by, you know, throwing anything on our chest. We also then, after fixing your resistances, you do slash passives. So you just write it in like this. And then it'll show you how many passives you have here. And it'll show you what you're missing. So for example, deal from the bandits here, they'll sometimes say 0, and that's if you helped. So if you help a Lyra, or if you misclicked and help one of the other ones, it'll say 0 here. Now, we're missing Kitava's Torments, which is the side quest here. And yeah, there's a crafting recipe in Oriath we need to go get as well. We'll go get this. Misclicked oak, yeah. That's a big tip. Yeah, that's what this series is all about. Pumping out as many tips for you guys and helping prepare for League Start. That's why it's kind of like, I know like this is something that gets requested a lot to make like the videos like TLDR and short, to make them like 15-minute videos. That's kind of impossible for the amount of tips in the videos. And these aren't structured or thought out at all. It's just me like shooting out tips as much as I can. More so than a regular stream. Thoughtrails. Is this build being nerfed? We don't know yet, but we are getting the patch notes today. And I will be streaming until the patch notes come out. And then we'll be doing that. We'll be reading through all of them together. Please avoid like control Fing and posting spoilers in my chat. That's kind of lame. And I'm gonna basically not read chat in the start. Why not an elemental equilibrium and with cold damage in the frenzy setup? That's mostly used in like degen setup. So what would happen in practice is that I would hit, for example, that mob with my cold damage frenzy. That would take more damage from the first volatile dead fireball that's hitting it, and then the second one is going to do less damage. So in every scenario, that is going to end up with less damage, and always going to be bad. We're allowed to Pepe laugh though? Yeah, you can Pepe laugh and say he doesn't know. That's completely fine. I mean, it doesn't seem too much to ask for either though, to just like be patient and read through them with me if you are in my chat. And I mean, I know that people are just gonna troll with it too. I mean, there's always people that post movie spoilers and stuff. Can you explain what the fuck your attacks are doing? Yeah, but I'm about to take a stretching break. This is Spellslinger build. You're probably better off looking at one of the Spellslinger tutorials, which will explain it, the specific build, a lot more in depth. Right, let's see. So if it was 100% confirmed that the Warcry instant node is an Iron Grip, then I would 100% do that and try out Enduring Cry. That sounds awesome. Getting like permanent Enduring Cry, 12% damage mitigation, just so nice. Some extra resist, which doesn't really matter. But yeah. Then we're also gonna go over here then and get some more life. Now, as you can see, we already have great damage, right? Even though we're using, what was the wand again? I can't remember. It was like 36. I linked it to myself earlier here. But obviously a very, very low level wand. It doesn't matter. Low level wand. And then everything is pretty great. We're still on a 4-link. And we have very few damage nodes. We have the spiritual aid nodes here, which is really good because it makes any minion damage generic damage. And we get so much free minion damage here, right? 15, 30, 45% minion damage just from the traveling nodes, and then another 15 here, so there would be 60% just from the minion damage nodes. We're getting 30% here, and then loads of damage from Corpse Pact and Plaguebringer. So pretty cool setup. A lot of damage and a lot of survivability. Be very, very tempting, and a lot of the time I would drop Commander of Darkness to get Mistress of Sacrifice, and then do Cast when I was taking Bone Offering. Bone Offering might be nerfed, so we don't know. You do not need accuracy for this build. Be right back. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot I was muted. Yeah, if you don't know Datmods, he's a really, really cool streamer, and he just tweeted this besides some technical issues. And I was like really impressed with his cable management, and then went behind my computer and took a picture of mine. And like he was like, because he said he was going to improve the cable management, and it was like, his looks perfect already. Mine is like slightly messy. I tweeted that out. I'm gonna fly to Val. You're welcome, dude. Fly here and fix my setup. Yo, I'd actually like that. Engineering majors versus software majors. Oh, nice. Do you want to show chat? Look what my fiance made. I'm excited.
I mean, it's fruit.
It's fruit?
And
but it's sweet. It's nice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
also, I promised to feed.
You promised to feed me?
Yeah, it's like
To what? You promised chat?
Yeah.
Why? Who asked for that?
Panda.
Panda something asked you to feed me? Alright. You might not like it. But this is pretty performers. A rude panda? Was that his name?
Probably.
See, we can switch to this shield and then resist cap. Wait, you're gonna stop feeding me?
Actually, Pezzini, there's no sugar on it. I've weaned him off.
Wait, there's no sugar? No, she's tricking me.
I weaned you off the last bowl. Didn't have sugar on either.
You stopped putting sugar on my fruit?
Yeah.
Why?
See, you didn't even notice.
Right.
But I did put this on.
General war cries out. What?
See?
What's that?
It's the oatmeal bars.
Can you guys hear her, or is she too quiet?
I'm trying to look like... I don't know. Not look like... Sorry, I'm trying to be more loud.
You're trying to be more loud?
Isn't it better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't hear her? I don't know. Like, it's so weird because she can... Ah!
Shut up.
No.
I don't think they can hear you, baby.
She can be like sitting next to the microphone and sometimes can't hear her. Whereas I can be like in a different room and you guys can hear me. Just when I'm speaking normally like this. No, I'm gonna go look at the new work right real quick. Where is it? New tweet notification. Okay. I feel bad doing this during an Everything Explained, but I really want to see this because we're about to get the patch notes drop. Hopefully people watching the Everything Explained find it interesting too. General's Cry plus Earthquake. What's General's Cry doing? What's happening? Hard to tell what's happening. The mirrors? It's like Savior. Oh, there, I see them. Right. Oh, hello. Oh, I see them now. I wasn't paying attention enough. That is kind of cool. They need corpses to work. That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. I miss your playlist. Lisa won't be the same without it. Well, you can still listen to it while listening to me.
Right.
Hmm?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Why the bar support in Frenzy? And why is the lightning damage on the wand? Just any damage is fine right now. And then, let's see, we're in the epilogue. The reason for the barrage is so that it spawns Volatile Dead and Desecrate on the same one. Truly found the one who trolls you better than we do. Yeah, she's great. She's great.
He's scared.
What's up with the toss of music nowadays? Nothing changed. Like, it was always illegal for streamers to play copyrighted music. Also, remember the crafting recipe for movement speed is over here. But it's starting to get slightly more enforced now. If you log out to character selection, you won't be putting Q on a league start, right? Right. In theory, that is true, but quite often, it can crash. So I never do. Up into her bell, she enjoys carrying me more. So instant Warcry with Warcry, CD, recovery, General's Cry. Yeah, might be good. Is ally weakness better than flammability or up to choice? I mean, if you have multiple damage sources and quite a lot of it, then ally weakness is better. And I think ally weakness is, well, especially if you want to ignite and stuff, then flammability is better. I've seen big streamers just put their VODs on sub only to avoid the music TOS. That doesn't solve anything.
Sorry.
That doesn't solve anything at all. Do you have a guide for your VD? Yeah, it's on YouTube. That's just an excuse to have sub only VODs. Honestly, does not solve anything. You can still be sued if your VODs are sub only. Oh, nice part of it. Anyway, so now we are going into maps and we have a completely clean atlas. And I don't think they released any details whether it's changing or not, at least not that I remember. But we need to get the map device, which involves doing like the 3 like random quests at the start of Oriath. I already have a map device here. So isn't that technically a better chance to get DMC'd? Maybe. Doesn't matter. Your VD guide doesn't include Detonate Dead, does it? No, I need to make a more up-to-date one. Anyway, you can buy, if you don't have maps already, we should have some. And a map tab is pretty useful at starter mapping. Where's my... What does it look like again? There. Usually don't have this problem anymore. Anyway, wait, where for the atlas? No. There, delirium. Thanks. So, here. It's a lot of tabs. So, putting them in here helps a lot. It'll like let you show like what is completed, what isn't. And generally, at the moment, with the way things are right now, I will usually complete pretty much every map. Now, there are some like more advanced tactics that you can, for example, not complete every tier 10 and only complete one tier 10. And then maybe cycle between 2 different ones. Like, for example, very popular choice, early only farming Residence and Volcano. Because if you farm Residence, you're going to get Volcano drops anyway. So that was very, very popular this league, assuming no changes. And the reason for that is Residence is a great way to farm only 6 things. Like, it gives a 6-thing card. And it's very, very farmable. So that's like one thing. Now, they do have a new thing called the favorite map system, but that comes in a lot later than how early you can start doing this. Now, if you're playing Trade League, Hardcore, or Softcore, especially on Softcore, you should always alch every map. Obviously, as you can see here on SSF, we only have 4 alchemy orbs, so obviously can't alch every map, right? I'm very, very quickly going to run out. So on SSF, especially because your characters are usually weaker, and there might be more things you would have to reroll. So for example, say I alch these maps and all of them are Ally Reflect, I'm completely screwed, right? There's nothing I can do. Like for that tactic, you would have to look up the specific guide by Carvarosco and stuff, and I think Baylor Mage might talk about it. Even tier 1s, yeah. So assuming that you can do the map, you're always going to get one alchemy map, alchemy orb, or equivalent, better in loot. Now, not specifically an alchemy orb, but like in value, right? Like the difference between having them blue or rare. Always worth it. Always, always worth it. But anyway, we're just gonna like start, and then we're gonna have a lot of tips coming out here. Let's see. Let me buy... Let's see. I actually don't have enough. Well, let's buy all the beaches. Or actually, all the wharfs. Wharfs are amazing at the start because they drop... Actually, let's get rid of all these. That's how you get wisdoms. You sell these things. Whetstones and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna do wharfs because they drop fusing cards, which is really, really good at start. Actually, didn't need to do... Well, do have some fist damage. Anyway, I think I wanted to show real quick. Do I have 3 wharfs there? Actually, do I have 4 wharfs? What? That accidentally entered. ETM patch notes? I do not work for GTD. Wrong person to ask. Right, 4 wharfs to have more. 5, perfect. Right, okay. So this would be a lot easier to show if I had more maps explored on the Atlas. But inside this one here, right, we have Wharf. And then there's tier 2 maps too. Now, I'll explain this again later because it's such an important thing for League Start to know. But it's important to remember and understand how 3-to-1ing maps work. So if I sell 3 wars, I get a tier 2 map, right? Cursed Crypt, which is one of the maps. It's not even necessarily next to Wharf, but it's one of the other tier 2 maps, right? So this exact combo will always sell for 3 for 1 Cursed Crypt. Now, if I remove that one and throw in this one, now it sells for a Strand, right? So, well, which one do I need? Maybe I've already completed Cursed Crypt and I need Strand. However, this one gives us alleyways, right? Now, maybe there's other combos here that give the same as well. So we can like play around with it. Like that one also gives alleyways and that one gives Cursed Crypt again. So now a lot of people are having their minds blown and they're not understanding how this system works. So these are all maps are inside this region. This is not random at all and you can completely control all of this. And I have a long map video explaining this, but seeing as this isn't everything explained at the start of maps, I want to go over it again because I think it's so important. And this is obviously still part of the university series. So for example, this would be the same with like tier 2 maps and getting all the new ones tier 3, same with like tier 6, etc. And maps within a region will only sell for the maps inside that same region. Like, I can't sell 3 maps here in the corner and get a map from here. It's always going to be inside the same region. So that's an important rule to remember. And this is part of how you can very, very quickly complete every map at the start of your atlas. So at the moment, this is nothing to do with what map is connected to what in the region, right? Because obviously the wharf here is not connected to all of those 3 maps. So if I only have these 3... If I only have these 3 here, there's nothing I can do. These are going to give Cursed Crypt no matter what I do. I can't roll these or do anything different. So explaining a little bit more about how this works is every item has an item ID, right? This might be Wharf number 1.7 million and 2. This might be Wharf number 1.7 million and 3. And then deciding, like the game will just decide, well, this item ID of maps will sell for Cursed Crypt. And this item ID of maps will sell for Strand. Right? And that means that once you have like, if you have 6 or 7 maps of the same tier, so say like, as another example, say we have 7 arid lakes, right? Then you can get every tier 6 map above it very, very easily. Right? If you have 3, very forced into it. 4 opens up a lot of options. So you just have to like play around with the different combinations. So these 3 warps give a laboratory. So in these 5 wharfs, we managed to hit every single tier 2 in this region. Is the result of a map that is naturally of that tier? Yes. Do the maps need to be on the same region like Turns End? So maps from Atlas region Turns End will always sell for Atlas region Turns End. So this is like a very, very good tip for getting this early on. So let's start mapping. Any map you've cleared can drop anywhere? Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of different map rules. And I do go into this in detail in like, is it like 1 hour on just talking about maps? And give all the tips I have for mappings. A lot of those videos, if you're now really bored waiting for Harvest to start, a lot of those videos have a lot of great tips that a lot of people... I'm using the word a lot. But yeah, just tips that most people don't know about. So tier 4 strands will never give tier 5 laboratory. Well, if tier 5, if laboratory can exist as a tier 5, then yeah. I can't remember the exact maps. But it has to be able to exist at that through the Watchstone thing. So, again, we're resist capped. We have shit tons of life, even though we're still wearing trash gear. I kind of like showing off a little bit at the moment, just like how strong the build is with trash gear. We're still like, we're still using the trash level 35 one we have as well. Now, obviously, this is like now on standard, so we don't have a league mechanic that's going to give us currency or crafts or anything cool. So we're going to be a little bit poorer for crafting than we normally would be. But I'm now going to start showing how we would upgrade and what we're going to look for. I feel like this build fell off in the end game, or just has trashed gear. Yeah, so like I just switched to Volatile Dead and Net Dead, but instead of being level 17 gems, like our arc was about to hit level 17, this is level 15 gems and we still have trash gear. And I mean, it's still completely fine. Obviously, it would have like 30-40% more damage, maybe a bit more. And now is when we want to start getting upgrades as well. I mean, a lot of the time you'll find better things. But we're wearing complete trash. Let's see. That one's actually maybe already an upgrade, but it's got so much spell damage, but so little flat. Let's take a quick look at my Volatile Dead. Like fire damage actually becomes more important. For the other setup we were using, flat damage is amazing. Whereas for this setup, since we're using, obviously we have a low level Desecrate too, which actually is lowering our damage on the explosion part. Not too important early on because tier 1 bosses are pretty easy. But yeah. Fire damage is pretty great here. So if we got, for example, fire damage, that would help a lot for like the explosion stuff. I think spell damage does work on the explosion parts. So I guess this should be fine. Anyway, let's do... We'll jeweler it and craft this. This is already an upgrade over what we're using. Let's go grab a fusing. And then we need some chromes. You need a flammability curse. Lol. No, I'm using Elo weakness. It's completely fine too. Flammability, it starts getting more important when you actually care about igniting. We don't really do right now until we get cluster jewels. Microphone is SMB7, sure. There, fusings. But no, we don't really... It's not a massive difference between flammability and Elo weakness. Once you start having only... Actually, yeah, now we should think about changing to it. So we're about to not have cold and lightning damage. But especially, like, if you find a one with a shit ton of lightning and cold damage, and then it ends up being more than 10% of your damage, then it can be good to have Elo weakness to lower everything. And especially if you're using multiple types of spells. So, for example, a lot of the time while leveling, I used to use Cold Snap, Wave of Commission, and Ball Lightning. And that was great. And then Elo weakness helps a lot more as well. Let's see. Chromes. But yeah, definitely not super important. Okay, I'm really out of chromes. I really should be less lazy. Oh my god. You know what? We can just throw it in the boots. We're not using our boots for anything right now. Feels bad. Hello, Banks? Hi! Hello, I'm here. Here. You know what? In this trying time of patch notes, can everybody do @BanksGGG and give a heart? Pick a number between 2 and 542. 376. 376. Is she giving us an early patch note? We're currently doing like an everything explained, which is we're basically explaining to people how the starter maps and everything like that goes. $376 until patch notes now. Oh! Oh! 376. Inevitability. No longer costs my... No, come on. No. That's not okay. Okay, give me a mulligan. Okay. 177. 177. No, I was already public. You're trolling. You're trolling. There's no way I guessed one that's already been leaked. Bye, see you later. Come on. I was so sweet with the hearts. I was so sweet with the hearts. Give us one more punch note. 177. Come on. Come on. That can't be true. That's so cool. Did I triangle it? No. 177. Come on. With the hearts and everything. Bex is the community manager for Path of Exile, for those of you who don't know. And she just gave us an early patch note. She let me guess. And I guessed one that had already been announced. I can't believe I randomly said a number and it was the magma orb thing. I can't believe this. But other streamers are getting the good patch notes. I can't believe that happened. I feel scarred. Anyway, so now we have this thing, right? Which is loads of spell damage. And part of what I said earlier about Spellslinger as well is that it's so nice that pretty much anyone is very, very usable. So now this is an open prefix, and now we would craft this if I had 4 chaos. Doing chaos recipe to get that, it wouldn't be a bad thing. If you're very new to Path of Exile and you don't know what a chaos recipe is, it's selling basically a full character set of items to the vendor that is like above item level. Well, if you're in maps, you have it. It's like 55 to 60, no, to 74? 60, I can't remember. 65 to 74, that's it, thanks. 60 to 74. I never do chaos recipe. Anyway. So now we're going to craft this. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, Zizaran, you're using spells. Why are you crafting fire damage to attacks? Well, that's, again, because Spellslinger... There. Spellslinger is transferring 90% of the damage and later on, 100% of the damage, or 99 or whatever, to thingy. Wait, are actually the attack crafts worse? Oh, it's just because I did a lower one. Just because I did a lower one. Wait. They're not. They shouldn't be. Are they actually? Are they that trash? Because usually at least... here, I'll show you what I mean as a quick example. So, for the most part, all the attack rolls go like crazy amounts higher than the spell rolls. So, even with a penalty, 90% of the time, the attack rolls is going to be better. So, I'll show you like a mod website here to give you a quick comparison. So, let's say you look here at fire damage to spells, right? This is like a really weird layout. Is this old? No, maybe not. Cremating tier 1 fire, which is item level 74, is 49 to 85 fire damage to spells, right? Now let's compare this to fire damage to attacks. 112 to 194 fire damage. So, as you can see, it's like 3 times the amount of damage. So, when you're converting it to spell damage then, way more. So currently this is 27 to 49. What is the actual fire damage to spells? What would be the non-4C one? They're around the same actually. I actually thought the crafts were better too. But at least for rolling. Then you generally want attacks. I actually didn't know they was that low though. Isn't Chaos Recipe a waste of time, sir? I'm a very noob, by the way. And Troofers, thanks so much for the 21 months. Shenanigans, thank you for the 2 months. And Qual's Balls, thank you for the Twitch Prime. For a lot of players, Chaos Recipe is a waste of time. Wait, what's this link? Zizaran, here's the proof. Made my whole day. Oh my god. Life is unfair. I'm so sorry, chat. What are the odds? What are the odds? One in 576? What was I talking about before we got interrupted with me fucking everybody over? How does it feel to let so many people down at the same time? Bad. Kind of frustrating. Yeah. For most players that are new to the game and don't know the value of things, Chaos Recipe can be really good. It can also be really good early on in SSF. You'll notice a lot of fast players don't do it And when they do, they try to be extremely efficient. I know a streamer called Gucci Pradas had like a really, really efficient setup that he showed off. And he was doing like a crazy amount of chaos recipes where he was like doing like really, really, really fast. Had like everything perfectly lined up in min-max. Then it's not a waste of time. It is really boring to do. I hate doing it and I try to avoid doing it as much as possible. But yeah. Definitely frustrating. I just don't enjoy doing it, so I definitely want to avoid it. So, let's see. We're already at a tier 2. So, since this build is particularly powerful and great, like we still have like garbage gear. We're going to try to upgrade. But since the build is very, very nice, we are going to, yeah, delving straight for chaos too. We're going to rush up. Wait. What's happening here? Something turned itself off. There we go. We need some corpses. Oh yeah, because we switched wand. There. So, damage is a bit better now as well. Now, obviously, seeing as spells are based around the gem level, we're still going to struggle with damage a bit until we higher gem level, because I have to buy like an unleveled one from the vendor. It's like 2 levels already lower than what it should be. And that is like very, very impactful for spells. Not so much for melee, which is great. We've done Awakener with this build. Yeah, Awakener like day 3 or 4 on SSF hardcore. Something like that, I can't remember. It was very early. Pretty early. Maybe not that early, actually. Maybe my mind is misremembering. I just remember I did it very early this thing. So yeah, rushing tier 3 maps. Very, very nice. The reason for that is once you get your first tier 3 map, you get Zana. And then you start getting the Zana dailies. I don't think you can get them at all before then. I can't remember though. Do I already have Zana here? I don't think so. I might do. I can't believe it either. And generally, this is a build that has like, I'd say very okay single target damage usually. Not like crazy good, but very, very okay single target damage. Very high defense, and it's a very, very fun, good comfort level build to play, where you get very, very speedy clearing and generally safe. Oh my god, it's being annoying. There we go. That position. There, we got a volcano map. Generally, I will clear out like the main chunk of maps. I had a lot of people asking today, when do you know when to leave a map? So you generally clear out the main meaty bits, right? You don't like go and clear everything. We definitely would be delving by now as well, 100%. I try to like make sure that I don't go full on soul fight, because delve is incredibly rewarding. I think that's actually worth doing now and explaining, because there's going to be a lot of people that maybe ignore delve altogether and don't know why people say it's good. So let's do that a little bit. Also, if you ever get a shrine that's annoying for you, so some builds don't necessarily like echoing shrine, and some builds don't necessarily like the knockback shrine, then just right click it as a buff and it'll cancel it. Yeah, zombie, they're good. Can you teach the resident strat? No. It's too in-depth. Too in-depth and it's annoying, and it might change to the next thing. I don't know if they're changing maps. Carvado School has like guides on stuff like that, I think. Why hypothermia and it's 6 instead of LA focus? Because you still want to... Well, LA focus isn't bad, but hypothermia is loads of damage. The reason hypothermia is loads of damage is because everything is chilled. Yep, they are still good Royal Zombie, even though I answered you less than 10 seconds ago. In the last 10 seconds, they have not changed. How are you going to make it up now with the patch notes? I don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can do. I'm just begging her to give us 177. How hard was it to get this hideout? A lot. A shit ton of shaper kills, to be honest. Let's see. Let me buy some portals. I actually might as well switch to fun mobility now. Because I have now I have no if you look at the spell now, like there's no cold or lightning at all. And I'm not using different spells on this, and then fun mobility becomes better again. We don't care about the ignite part yet. And right now we'll take a damage loss because it's lower level, but still. You're begging is feeding her, don't feed her. I'm only making her stronger. What did I go back to town for? I remember. Bribe backs? Buy a new TV, just give me patch notes. Oh yeah, I was gonna see if I had Zana. I don't think I have Zana at all. So we do actually need to find her. And if you're wondering, how does Zana spawn? Well, she spawns in the first tier 3 map you do. So she should spawn now. Do you think as a new player I have to know all the recipes? No, but it does help a lot, and they're all listed on the wiki. Unless there's something that's like undiscovered by the player base. I think there might still be one undiscovered recipe. GGD usually say, hey, there's still a recipe in the game that nobody knows about. Or at least that's not publicly acknowledged. Because you gotta remember, even the wiki is just run by players. Grumpy, thanks so much for the tier 1 sub, dude. Really appreciate all the subs. I'm very ready, Arceus. Skilling Bleed for the start reasonable for pushing the Atlas. Yep. Steel Mage does that quite a lot, and we have a guide as a combo with Steel Mage on my YouTube. Sometimes early on Legions can be a bit of a struggle. Summon builds and some builds can like struggle if you don't have a crazy amount of damage. And also like some things have a bit weird AI. I find that Volatile Dead, until you get a bit crazy damage, is usually fine in tier 1 maps when you have like appropriately leveled gems. But like damage can still be a little bit low. One of the really nice things with Spellslinger is whenever you, especially when you use gems that have very high like required level. Oh, Delve, that was it. We were gonna do Delve. But I'll do this first and show the silent thing. Oh, she did. She gave us 177. We got a patch note. Oh my god, I got scammed again. Now is an added damage effectiveness of 200 from 150? What does that help me? Ah! What currently has 150? Make a list. Static Strike? Earthquake? She's probably a spell. I choose the worst patch notes. Bex is the best. She really is. She really is. Fair is actually a great essence for this. Again, something that's very important to remember and possibly hard when you're a newer player is Spiritual Aid, right? Gotta remember that that makes that minion damage on a wand. It's the same as any damage. It's the same as just pure damage that affects everything. And also if you get like on a Cobalt Jewel or something, minions deal 15% increased damage, that'll work too. Chips, thank you for the tier 1 sub, dude. Really appreciate the subs. Thank you guys so much. You guys are super awesome. But as you can see, like, obviously we're a bit lower on damage than we're supposed to, but already, like, it's a very nice playstyle. And if you saw this last league start, it usually has a lot more than this too. Picking up definitely every wand. Generally you want to pick up a lot of items. Leaving with a full inventory worth of rares is pretty useful, because you do want a lot of alterations for crafting and stuff. Getting an early pair of 2-tone boots is pretty nice, and then throwing some Zeal essences or Greed essences in those. And then just getting an okay pair, because it's so easy when the implicit is 12% fire and cold rest. It's so easy to get some like better boots than your like shitty random ones you picked up while leveling that have like nothing special. Let's see. A little bit more damage, but not a lot. It's already like pretty okay damage. Obviously, like, was it? It wasn't Delirium. It was the league before Delirium. All the bosses and everything got buffed on HP wise. So, Zana disappeared through a portal. Holy shit, guys! Hi, Zana. What's up? What do you want? Oh, whoops. I need to go into that. I think I need to go. Do you live in Ireland? I live in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland, mate. But it kind of depends how you ask. There we go. We do need to go into that. That was unexpected. So, now I have a whole new bunch of tips I can unload on you, chat. Zana has also, similar to Kirak, an inventory of maps that she will sell. Also, let me ID. Now, when I look at these, I can very quickly see if an item is good or not, right? It sort of just becomes that you're used to it, and you're sort of like, does it have 80 life? No. Does it have 3 resist or 2 resist? No. Well, then it's garbage, right? So you just sort of scan through the item quickly. So all of these were garbage, and we're just gonna do that. Boom. I mean, technically that just is an upgrade. Discharge is 150. Ooh. How many Red Bulls have you drank? Your energy level is giving me anxiety. Actually, I haven't had energy drinks in a while. Like him, thank you for gifting a tier 3 sub to Bex. 6 months. Thank you. Yep, Belfast. Anyway, let me continue. So, Zana, similar to Kurek, has a set, right? Scroll up, I linked them all at 150%. Oh, okay. I'll check your message history in a second. I just want to like explain this to new players. So as you can see here, she's selling Graveyard, Pen, Dunes, Val, Pyramid, Vault, and Bog. I don't have any of these maps, right? And this is why you really want to save your chance orbs, because already we're pretty low. And you could wait a little bit early on with buying them all. Dev's in chat yet. Vex is awesome. She's still here? But yeah, sorry. You can wait a little bit and like find a lot of them naturally. But now you might be thinking, well, how Zizaran, how do I get more maps? So normally I always take the highest map of a tier that I have. So ideally, waiting till tier 5 maps is pretty great. But then once you do, like now, I'm putting in Dunes because I want a Zana daily of it. I would normally do this on tier 5, then later on tier 10, and then on tier 15 or 16. Well, sometimes earlier Reds isn't too bad. But now she has a full new inventory. You don't even need to complete the map. As soon as you pop in a new map, then you reset what she's selling. And then when you get to the daily, the map that she opens for you in Dunes, look through the reward or like the quest. Sometimes it'll be like find the unique item, find blah blah blah. But sometimes it'll be find the lab trial, and that guarantees the lab trial in that map, which is really really nice because that's how you can like get Uber Lab. Real quick, let's see. According to the wiki, the following alliance match with 150% damage effectiveness: Ice Trap, Conk Path, Burning Arrow, Freezing Pulse, Fork Discharge, and a whole bunch of smaller items. Ah, cool. That's awesome. So I'll do this map now and then also show you the Zana thing. And then we'll do Delve and I'll explain more about Delve. Remember Conk Path, yeah. There. Loads alive. And a big source of damage increase now, like the next damage increases we're gonna want on this build, would be cluster jewels. Any one crafting tips for VD Spellslinger? Biggest one, honestly, essences are really good. Whatever the flat attack damage to wand is, I think it's anger. I usually use deafening angers. Now obviously farming deafening angers on SSF takes a while. Usually super worth. You just need to hit one other like flat added damage or fire damage at a decent amount, and then you have a good one. When do we start pathing to the blocking nodes? Well, I mean, it's gonna depend where things are on the tree. And it's not there now, obviously. So, here, find the map item, find the unique item, slay the warband, corrupted boss, complete the map. So, the probably best one here is the unique item, right? Like, there's nothing, like, super awesome we need here. Then you can also think about, like, well, I mean, I need that map, right? So, but make sure you look for the lab trial. Contains a unique strongbox is also super awesome early. One of the unique strongboxes can give you 3 or 4 or whatever unique maps. So then getting a lot of unique maps early on, great for your completion. And like for like even more map specific tips, I have a long video just shading out map specific tips for like an hour. Because obviously there's a lot to learn there. Yeah, Vortex is a great poster usually. I mean, pointless for me to say what's good right now, seeing as we don't have patch notes yet. But yeah, usually. I like him. Good one. You feel the reading patch notes meta is gutted? What do you mean? Sulfur Fast was the unique we got. And yeah, so at the moment we're going to just be killing time until patch notes and giving you guys as much advice as we can. And just giving like tips for as long as we can go until patch notes. Thank you, coaching. Thank you. Fun Animal Crossing League. Oops, I didn't really look at the items. So, picking up boots always great. Obviously, you don't need tests. Usually, or a lot of the time, I'll have filters that don't show them as well. And for the other things there, like daggers and stuff, can be good. Depends on what your other characters that you're going to run that league is. You think Marilyn's fallacy will jump in price? No idea. How long did it take you to get maps in this build in 3.10? 4 hours? Maybe a bit. I think it was below 4 hours because I didn't farm a tabia there. So I think I did like 3 or 4 hours to maps. I was one of the first people, I think. Can't remember now. Do the big streamers get patch notes in advance? No, we don't. It would be very, very nice. I think, like, obviously there's a lot of pros and cons to this, but it would be really, really nice to get an indication of like things that would be safe to make build guides around in advance. Not necessarily patch notes, but like, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's an unfair advantage, but realistically, like, anyone who's competing for anything in any way is not going to need more than 5 minutes after reading the patch notes to select their build, right? There's no like advantage like that. However, it would like be a big deal because if I knew what was safe to make build guides around, I could start making build guides 2 days ago or 4 days ago, and help a lot more people that way and make a lot more YouTube content. So that would be nice. Maybe that's something. Maybe like they'll do like a Warframe partner program or something like similar to that other games have. But yeah. So do you haul ass 24/7 from the moment notes drop? Yep. I think the most amount of guides we've ever been able to make was 7. I think for the start, but normally because our guides are so detailed, we end up like around 4, between 4 and 7. But I try to do as many like league starters as possible, and I know a lot of people follow them because of they do like the step-by-step that most other people don't. So they're like very, very easy guides to follow if you're new and stuff. Yeah, S-Mech. Do they nerf crit or just crit multi? Don't know. They said something about it in the manifesto. What's the impact of nerfing Val Molten Shell? It depends. It could be completely fine. I'm surprised they nerfed it. It probably won't be that bad. Probably won't be that bad. Do you sleep a lot before the new league? So basically, like the past few days and stuff, I'm already trying to like pump out videos and stuff. If you've seen YouTube, I'm trying to do a lot of educational information and stuff. So already I'm sleeping less than normal and working mostly on like YouTube content. Thanks, Will. When do you have time to dye your hair? Usually a week before they start. But I'm not gonna dye my hair now. I mean, this is like fading out now. Nice boss killing build. Well, like I said, we're 2 gem levels below what we should have. How many days per day will you stream at League launch? Yes. What's that frenzy MTX? None. Foiling's fine though. I do the guides off stream. It's way faster. Takes like 6 hours. Darn repeat? No, they're just similar. Let's go delve. Do you have an Instagram? Yes. Don't post it that recently or that much though. So again, here really good for maps to put them in the map tab. Very easy to see what you got bonuses on. What did you name the lady by the health club? Stacy. It just takes way too much time like him. Takes way too much time. Like whenever I'm doing something, any sort of educational content on stream, it takes me so much more time. Like I read like my chat and stuff, and it makes it harder. Von Tickle, thank you for the true sub, dude. Have you played the games? I have not. I just like the music. Yeah, it is hilarious and learners. How do you get the hideout? Kill Shaper. A lot. Why is that under dead? It's not. It's just nerfed a lot. There. Okay. Custom is with the 20 gift subs. Jesus. Okay. I'll send you nudes in a sec. I can't do that right now while delving. Thank you so much for the 20 gift subs, dude. Really appreciate that. If you're unfamiliar with Delve, Delve is side content that was added as a main league expansion a while ago. And really, really useful. There's a lot of recipes you need in here. And then you basically, you drive this like powered cart around. It's powered by sulfite. And then you will also find the blue stuff here, which is azurite. The azurite is used for upgrades. We'll talk a little bit about now. They're blocked in the subcam. Thanks so much for all the 20 gift subs, dude. Super, super generous. There. So now we've done the first one, then you go back and then you can start buying things like dynamite and flares. I usually just start with 1 dynamite and 2 flares. You can also rebind the hotkeys for this. I have flares on F and then 7 for dynamite. I just find it annoying to have them next to each other, so I wasn't always sure which one I click. Now, it will automatically like delve deeper, like just by you getting higher levels. So now we're at monster level 63 and our character's 70. So we're not like, it's not that much catch up compared to, weird. Looks kind of odd. But yeah, so that you do that, yeah, get higher down. And then normally, I don't upgrade my darkness resistance much. Normally what I upgrade is radius. That helps a lot more, at least for the way I play. Yeah, there is a Val outpost here, which is really, really good. The reason for that is that there's recipes there. There's a lot of recipes that are like guaranteed at certain spots in Delve. So we're very uneventful path here. Cool. I don't think I've ever seen this just go straight before. Okay. I was gonna say, I've never seen it before, but it's also kind of weird. What if my delve is bricked? Thanks. Thanks, game. But I need it. I need it to go there. Hello? I mean, I could go around. Yeah, this will be on YouTube. Gain a level. Yeah, I guess that'll fix it. Anyway, this is fine too. And there's different recipes. Some are guaranteed at the 1-star azurite. I think there's 2 different ones for 1-star azurite. So 1 the first time you do it, 1 the second time. There's 1 for 2-star azurite and 3, and a 3rd one for 3rd-star azurite. So for example, here we get the guaranteed 4-socket recipe. Now obviously, if you haven't delved at all during leveling or upgraded your darkness resistance and stuff like that, it's going to do a lot of damage. So if I run into the darkness here, you'll see very quickly you get a stacking debuff, which does a lot of damage, which is instantly removed when you either throw a flare down on yourself or you move back into the light. Now generally, I don't upgrade darkness resistance a lot at all. I just upgrade the light so that I'm pretty much never affected by darkness resistance, and then I use flares to my advantage. Is the 6-thing recipe worth it? Generally, no. I never ever advise to use the 6-thing recipe. My thoughts about it is usually if you're playing the game very casually and you're only going to like want 1 6-thing the entire league, then yes, 6-thing in the recipe like that is definitely worth it. However, if you're going to have more than one, oops, I think I missed some. Yeah, if you're going to have more than 1 6-thing per league, then it's 100%. It's very rare that multiple 6-things will cost over 1,500. My worst 6-thing experience is 1 Shavs that use 6,700. But if you don't freeze yourself, then you're also not going to have those times where you use 1 or like 100. So. But yeah, again, always stay full on these, and I like very quickly upgrades that have more flares and more dynamite. But then do like the early upgrades. And doing the early hair upgrade is nice too, actually, just so you don't have to go back down so much. Let's see, I want to find a wall and explain that as well. And then that's the only time, the 6,700 one's the only one where I've actually kept count as well of every individual fusing. Something I do, and I'd say 99 or even like 101% of people do, is that you're going to exaggerate, right? Sometimes if you've used like 200 fusings, it's going to feel like 300. And every time you tell the story, you're going to exaggerate a little bit. So maybe we've used 2,000 fusings, and that's gonna feel like 4,000 or 5,000. Like, I really, really wish that there was some sort of like currency counter. I think that would be great, because whenever you see someone on Reddit going like, oh, I've used like 20,000 fusings on this one item, it's never 6 that would be like, yeah, no. Can you explain flask usage a little bit? Sure. So flask in Path of Exile is basically just equipment. When you're clearing at a decent pace, they're mostly always on. So right now, I'm basically playing like this. Well, it's more like this. And then mouse button 5, which I can't really click. I'll just like space D. Pretty much just this. And then whenever you're playing a CI build, it's usually just this. It's just usually permanently up right now. Something you're sort of just automatically doing subconsciously. What times is the patch notes? We don't know. Beck said that she would try to give us a 1-hour warning for the patch notes and when they're coming out. So if it hasn't been announced that it's 1 hour, then it's probably over 1 hour. Let's see. Can you ever yell really loud when the patch notes are out? No, because sometimes people have fallen asleep and want to stay asleep to my stream. Oh, I should have kept that imbued one. But that's fine, because I want to use a Fair Essence. Fair Essence is really, really good. What map should I farm early? You mentioned 1 with 16 cards. So Residence drop 16 cards. The drop for Prodigy, and there's quite a few other maps that do too. Wharf, Port, Key, and a few others drop like fusing cards, which are nice. Do you play standard? Yeah, this is standard right now. If you mean if I play standard other than educational stuff, no, I don't. I do not. So you'll notice like here, there'll be like, oops, there'll be like, there was a forgotten rewards there. Sometimes there'll be some other, like there are like decent rewards that'll spawn a little bit by the sidetrack. However, that's a lot more rare compared to what is like behind the walls that are good. The walls that you can find in Delve is where like the true reward is. So what will often happen is that players will just follow the track and be like, well, Delve is dog shit. I've never gotten anything worth it in Delve. Does near an enemy have a distance meaning like recently? No. Nearby is completely random in Path of Exile. Let's see. There, we're just picking up all the Azurite. Again, that's what you need for upgrading stuff. And then we're trying to find a wall, so I can show you guys that. See, there'll probably be a wall here because this is a bit of a longer one. Now, how do you find these walls? Well, in the start, you're going to struggle more because it's sort of like you know, progressing through maps and like the storyline in Path of Exile where there's the layouts, right? And you start to recognize them. So for example, in the start, you would want to explore the you would want to explore the side areas like this and then see if there's a wall there because you're not going to know exactly what layout has a wall. Whereas, yeah, this one. There. So this one, I was like fairly sure had a wall and this is what they look like. That's just because I know what the layouts look like and the general place that they normally are. I mean, it's still like a bit hard sometimes. And then boom. Here you can see it can be pretty rewarding. You also get like resonators, fossils. You can get, there's another chest that's a bit rare called an opulence. Opulence drops either an annulment, a divine, or an exalted orb. Nearly always an exalted orb, I feel like, or at least a lot. Very, very common to get from the opulence. But it does bait you with a divine. It's probably an equal chance. I've just been lucky the last times. There. Here's the dynamite cache. Then we like refuel for free here. Especially like trying to like conserve your flares can very, very easily get you killed. So if you're in hardcore and you're new to doing this, then you know, maybe be a little bit more generous with your flares. Now remember that if you run out of flares while you're like down here, but you keep finding walls, you can go back and I'll show you that now. not a full example. Also, these are worth picking up now. Not a full example. Oh yeah, I'll give you an example when I finish this node. Whoops. So you see, yeah, like this is a lot of currency early on for just like playing. It's actually really nice. It's very, very worth doing Delve. And then you have the recipes. There's a lot of other things that are worth in Delve too. There are fire, cold, and lightning, chaos, and physical areas. These will have a big chance to drop a curse ring related to it. So for example, the cold area can drop a frostbite curse. Things like that. This is really, really nice. They can drop some crusty items down here. Like just so many rewarding things. Let's see. So like we could upgrade a little bit on the radius here. Like I said, that's what I prefer upgrading. There. And then now I can go back down after I've refilled on flares and dynamite and then continue going back and the path will be lit up. Obviously, that if you stray into the darkness, here, you're going to take damage. Right here. Very quickly. Does item level matter for chancing rare leather belts for Headhunter? No. It does not. Item level does not matter for chancing. That's why we were chancing Skyforth for a while. So, here's a ruined chamber. We're going to go here. Well, I shouldn't be leveling up Borrow support. I don't think there's a reason to. But yeah, and also keep Frenzy level 1. Lower dex requirement, lower mana, and obviously we don't care about the damage on Frenzy. We do Steel Skin or Cast Now Shaking, and Molten Shell can't be cheesed with kindness anymore. Ask after patch notes. And usually Steel Skin lasts very little, so. And you can't, it doesn't matter because they're more likely to switch. Didn't they? I can't remember what they said exactly about Val Molten Shell, but Val Molten Shell can't be switched. Like can't be cast when I was shaking anyway. Now in these like Val cities, there's you can't get fossils because they don't have like a biome. There are specific biomes in the Delve. So like, you know, if you've played Minecraft and you're a bit familiar with how biomes work and stuff already. So for example, in the Abyss biome here, you have like a certain set of fossils that will drop like bounds, I think. I can't remember exactly right now off the top of my head which one drops in which, but then you have like the frost biome will drop frigids and pristines and prismatics. Already have one on YouTube, Diego. Already have one. It's in the latest videos posting. Character using is 5k HP and he still don't die. Well, right now I'm doing very, very low level content. We just got to maps. I have a shit ton of defense. And we're using a granite. Ooh. So, these are, the way these work, the cities, is you stand in this and then you're powering up the light. That's generally how it works. Now, standing in these can be very dangerous. So, I'll show you on the other side how I do these. This is not how. And then once you've like powered it up, you can like go through and you have some light. And then here you get another light power up device and you keep getting monsters. They give a lot of XP and a lot of things are spawning. And then you can get these and boom, you get a lot of rewards. Some divination cards. The big giants can easily one-shot you. See if we can get one-shot here as an example. No, didn't really hit me. But they do one-shot very quickly. And then boom, got the currency. And we can grab the leather belt. Boop. And then we can just run back here. Now, the way I normally do these would be less about like killing the mobs like that. It would be more like this. And then just run straight here, get the recipe. Then you can stand in these, or even easier, you can throw a flare down. Then you have a lot more room, especially once you've upgraded the light radius. And it's incredibly rewarding. Delve is like one of the more rewarding things in the game. Alright, let's see. Not like in Skyrim mood right now. I'll listen to the song Leroy made earlier. It's so good. I really like this song. I wish I had made it longer. What's my belt right now? My belt's pretty shit. That is actually an upgrade. Tiny upgrade. Morrowind law? Yeah, Morrowind Elder Scrolls. Whatever. You get the idea. You get it! You're smart. Smart chat. You have a video on proper dump tab usage? I don't. Hey, Straya. Oh, bye. What about XP from those monsters? Yeah, you do get XP. You didn't check all side paths because you knew there weren't walls in them? Yes. And early on, when you're new to Delve, you'll be checking a lot of like dead ends and stuff. And there are things there too. But you start like learning the layouts. I'd say the easiest layouts to like see where they are is the frigid one. The harder ones is like the abyss layout and the fungal cavern layout. Abyssal depths and fungal cavern. It's like the harder ones to see.
I love these beginner guides between leagues. Would you ever consider doing competitions or giveaways for your high-end gear / currency at the end of league for people that like to play standard? Keep up the awesome work.
It's bannable. Can't do that. It's against the terms of service from Path of Exile, not from Twitch. Thank you for the $5 donation, Jar Jar. Trinky, thank you for the 7 months. Good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Good chase, thank you for the 4 months. What, really? Yeah. So, I don't want to go into it too much, but TLDR, what happened is every streamer used to do random ass giveaways for their gear on standard. And also from like some race rewards. That would usually be a very, very impromptu thing. And it would be completely fine. GGD didn't mind. Nobody was doing like follower only, sub only, or donation only giveaways. And GGD didn't care at all. Even though it was still in terms of service that we shouldn't do it. I did it, Mathel did it, Ziggy did it, everyone, right? Completely fine. Then, one streamer who doesn't stream anymore, started doing donation only giveaways. It was like, oh, you've donated $100? Well, anyone who's donated $100 in the last hour can pick one item from my stash. Oh, you want the 6 things shouts? Here you go. You're the winner. You're the only one who won. And then also some people started doing subscriber benefits and subscriber only giveaways and announcing them in advance. And then they just started clamping down on it really hard. Now we don't have any like formal giveaways anymore. And Kyle RT, thank you for the 9 months too. Nick Max, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Paranoid J, thanks so much for the 5 gift subs. Happy birthday. Thank you. It's very far away. Jill Bubbles, thank you for the 1,000 share. Well, no, I do open chest and darks too, but they're not the main reward. They're not the main reward. But as you see, a little bit of delving, already got 9 kills. And this is why you'll see a lot of experienced players will avoid doing chaos recipe or anything like that, because just by playing the game efficiently, they're making a lot of currency. You didn't tell me it's your birthday? I didn't say that because it isn't. Let's see. What's the other one? One is better but misses the exact resistances on the old one? Well, generally, on most items, you'll end up having crafts, right? So maybe this one had cold resist and this one had lightning. You can like switch them around sometimes. Sometimes you'll end up being like, well, I'm 30 overcapped on cold, so I can remove the cold then and remove the fire. Right, let's see. So I found an opal one, which is a great base for this. And you might as well do blacksmith whetstones. You'll get a little bit more physical damage. And then we throw a fair essence on. Minion damage is really, really good. Fire damage is really good. And spell damage, but this is still not like good enough to use. So this basically has like 70% spell damage and some flat fire, but it's so low that it's not worth using. Thank you, Chill. I really appreciate it. Spoon A, thank you for the 3 months as well. But yeah, so that is like some quick examples there. If we look at bestiary a little bit as well, we can start doing some maps with bestiary. Now, normally I would do bestiary on like tier. Do I care that much about tier 5? Usually I'll do most dailies. Pretty sure I can do Fist Reflect without too much issues. Shouldn't be an issue, we'll see. Don't think it's enough. It might be just because there's so many enemies that Fist Reflect will still be a problem, but since I'm already dead, might as well do some science. Allies gonna die, could maybe kill me. But yeah, so... Oh, actually, this is a great thing to talk about. So, this is... Where is Basilica? Up here or something? But anyway, As soon as you go into a corner map, the first time you go into any of the 4 corners, regardless of what maps they are, it's going to spawn Baran, Kirak's brother, and then you'll start the Conqueror storyline. Once you kill 4 Conquerors from each corner, then you are going to go and have to go the inner corners to spawn the other 4. And once you get to like 16 Watchstones, it changes quite a lot. I do a lot more in depth on that as well on the actual like map video. It's like basically an hour of all like Conquerors, starter maps and everything like that. Ooh, Beyond. And Corrupting Blood. It's a bit dangerous, but obviously we have a fairly solid build defense-wise. Even though everything is a bit scuffed right now. I'll run out of life fast. I like picking up, especially early on, pretty much like anything like gloves, helmet, boots. And then also, what do you call it? Most just like 4 slot items or 1x3 slot items, you know, like daggers, wands and stuff early on. Just to like sell a lot so we get more alterations. Is Sirith worth killing as soon as you get to him? Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's a lot of good drops from Sirith. Did you see Beck's second teaser in the Dota 2 subreddit? No, I didn't. I did not. Then, if I do this on League Start, I'll have more damage and do like less scuff as well. Like I would, for example, not have a white chest by now. Kind of just showing off like how little you really need to make this work. How strict is your filter? Not at all. I usually do a slightly stricter filter after like tier 5 maps maybe. I don't know, I'm terrible with filters. I'm the worst person to ask for filter advice. At least for when to change. I usually end up switching way too late. 30 minutes till the patch notes? Awesome. There. Damage isn't too bad right now either. The main thing about this build is always going to be clear speed. She never said that, just said 30 minutes away. She could be trolling. No, she's not going to troll about that. Ow. Owie. Still again, the nice thing about this build... Oh, I hate this boss. Nice thing about this build is that... Nice thing about this build is that it doesn't really matter if you like run out of mana. Running out of life is not great. I'm not sure what randomly... Oh, Beyond spawn. Beyond is actually something you really want to avoid on hardcore early on. Even though it's a great thing to get later when you have a more solid build. Early on, most of the Beyond bosses and stuff, like you can see now, even though I do already have 5k life, Beyond, like, especially Naam and Bamet are both, like, pretty dangerous. And definitely, like, cause to, like, be worried. Oh. Ah! There we go. What's your fist reduction? 0, basically. I only have a granite. Remember that a granite, even though it says 58% fist reduction here, I have nowhere near 58% fist reduction. The game is never honest about your actual fist reduction. In my chat, I have a command that explains it at !armor. But there are like very specific rules for how armor works. So read that, it's important. John Bams, thank you for the 14-month resub. Good to see you, dude. It was nice watching your stream the other day. Murtis, thank you for the 10 tier, and Chilled, thank you for the 1000 tier. Thanks so much. Muddy Fish, thank you for gifting Anti-Fusion with a sub, and Mindless, thank you for the 3-month resub. Mr. Steel, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Rasmax, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you. And thank you for the sub to Sinsus. Thank you. Thank you. Whose birthday is it? I'm sure there's someone. So for you, I would like definitely say the Everything Explains are a lot big, or very big. I do have like some speed racing and like improving like that. Most people just spend way too much time in town, but the Everything Explains talks a lot of and helps a lot, and you can like sort of see my pace, even though I'm like going a lot slower. So that should help a lot, even though it's longer videos. But most people are wanting to kill some time now until... What you call it? Ow. So Fizz Reflect, as you can see, is a problem once we start hitting like bigger packs. We don't have like any nice leech or anything like that right now, which we can get later. I'm so glad Zizaran is getting better at pronouncing nice. Yeah, I'm trying very hard with that at the moment actually. There, nothing special. No good one, no good gear. Yep, this is Vulcan. Best ascendancy, no such thing. You can get them from cluster jewels, is the easy life leech, or incursion amulets. Romulan. Oh, Alpha, thank you for the $5 donation. Romulan, Twitch Prime, Roguery, thank you for the 9 months. You play 2 months, thank you. Base priority now. Getting a decent one would be nice. So like high fire damage right now would be really good. Like high fire damage. And then also what do you call it? High fire added to attacks. High fire attacks. The hidden teaser matters for your current build. Can I get a permit to link? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna there. You can post it now. Booty, thank you for the 5 months. Plague, thank you for the 2 months. Alright, let's go see. Zero of 0. Control F on Volatile Dead. Oh, that's nice. The Volatile Dead's not changed. Cool. But yeah, and Charmer, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Please stop subbing because I'm about to go AFK. So, wait with subbing. Don't sub to the chair. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go pee. Stop! Stop it! a lot of subs. Should I just leave? Do you guys want the chair? Thank you. Holy shit. No, Blisk, I don't have the same problem. Thanks so much. Paradox for the 5 months. Ajito for the 5 gift subs. Shabla for the Twitch Prime. Chowder for the Twitch Prime. Xantil for the Twitch Prime. Sosimo for the 15 months. Double Blind for the Twitch Prime. Shambert for the Twitch Prime. And Boo Delivered. Thank you for the 5 months. Deep Plague, thank you for the 3 months. I can't remember who's the last one before that. Thanks so much, guys. Tufali, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Is this who lives in your house? Me and my fiance. She's shy. You don't want to say hi?
Hi.
Oh, okay. Dude has so many ads. So I only play ads once an hour. Usually less, and I do like 3 minutes of ads at a time, and then I go AFK and I either like stretch or go bathroom or go get a snack, and then ends up in usually somewhere like 2 to 5% of my content ends up being ads, and you don't miss any content. Like I don't play ads when I'm actually doing anything. Oh, nice, boy, Sid. That's awesome. Tifley, thank you for the Twitch Prime, and Pedwin. We want to see your stretches? Yeah, but I mean, obviously, playing ads makes me money. It's like a nice balance. Nobody misses any content. I get to stretch, which is healthy, and I get more money. It's a good way for people that aren't subbing to support the stream, and then people that really hate ads can sub, and then they don't get ads. That's why my fiance subs. Nice, Oki. Stretches like Summit? No, I don't like weed. I tried it twice, didn't like it. Wasn't for me. I'm helping, yeah. Steffiberry and Picture, thank you for the resubs. My fiance? Yeah, that's actually why I call her girlfriend, because I don't know why, but fiance just sounds pretentious.
Oh.
It's just weird. It's like, oh, my fiance. I guess that's also particularly because whenever somebody does get engaged, they like, that becomes their personality and they can't shut up about it. They usually say girlfriend. But then when I say girlfriend, people are like, what happened to your fiance? Did you break up? And I'm like, sometimes yeah. And sometimes I say ex-girlfriend, which is in my opinion hilarious.
You look at me like I have a problem with it. Propose again. Yeah, propose again.
Propose again?
Yeah.
On now?
No.
Later? I love you. Just call her this one. You don't need to break up with your fiance to get a girlfriend. Wish I had sunglasses here.
Ex-wife.
My next ex-wife. Nice. So wait, Patient, since you're resub, does that mean I have to put maps in the middle slot? Quad W. Fallen Panda, thank you for the Twitch Prime. So, I'm trying to think what are going to be the main tips to give next. Like, obviously, there's always going to be tips as we go, but maybe, like, cutting the video shorter here, because a lot of it is explained in the other videos and stuff. I just wanted to, like, explain, like, you know, obviously the last 2 acts, and then, like, the start of maps. Now we would be mostly, like, just going for, like, item upgrades. Which is going to be, like, there's a lot of upgrades during the next, like, 13 hours. Remember to, like, click on these, go in the Citadel things and open those. And especially look at something, like, you know, is this a good item? No. If this had, like, 75 or 80 life and dual res and maybe an open suffix to craft another res, then I would probably stop caring as much about picking up gloves, right? So you get to sort of a nice baseline. When you have sister singing again? What? I don't have a sister. But anyway, you get like a nice baseline to like, okay, my item is good enough and I'm not likely to get a new upgrade. And then you start picking it up. Since your one is plus fire to attacks is local, but you don't have VD in it, isn't it not affecting VD? No. But this is very confusing, so I'll explain it again. It's explained a lot during this video. So basically how this works, and this is local, but it's local to attacks. It never ever affects spells. However, if you look at Spellslinger, supported skills have added spell damage equal to 92% of the damage of the equipped one. So that means that, for example, if I crafted flat fire damage to attacks on the rings or on the amulet, that is not going to affect the Spellslinger. But everything that's on the wand itself is. So if I get flat fizz, physical damage, flat attack damage, that is all going to go to the spell. Well, Leos, thank you, dude. Thank you for the 47 months. Thank you. Let's see. But I think we can like end the video here. I'm not even gonna play an outro. We'll just end the video. And for like I said, now it's all gonna be just about finding upgrades, and I've explained a little bit of what I'm looking for and how I'm looking for there as well. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube when we upload this later, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great time in Harvest. I'll be putting out a lot of beginner guides for those of you who do watch the YouTube content. So check that out. They're very, very step-by-step and incredibly beginner friendly. And hopefully a lot of it's covered in the other university sessions. It's going to be a lot more extensive next league start. Hope to see you then as well. Thanks for watching, and try to die less than I do.